Yeah, so anyway, Brittany, the reason that you're such a disaster.
This is a morning. Every morning we have this meeting about how I have failed you.
Wait a minute. Are we on the air?
Oh, no, how awkward.
We're not really on the air. We're on the stream.
It's still
It's still on the air. It's still going through the air, I suppose.
Yeah.
I guess you're probably right about that. In any case, what's the latest? Anything good?
Nothing that exciting. I can't believe it's Tuesday. It feels like, I don't know, like it's later in the week.
I'm having a real problem with that because I get up so much later now.
Yeah.
I always think it's one day later than it actually is.
That happened to me last week. It was really depressing. Me and both Rudy realized on a Thursday that it was a Thursday. We both were like, oh, wait.
There's one more to go.
One more it is.
Yeah, I'm having that this week.
I know.
What do you mean it's only Tuesday? I thought it was Thursday.
I did it yesterday. I woke up. I was like, oh, what's up, Wednesday? Oh, no, we are a day behind. Never mind. Yeah.
Whoops.
And
what are you going to do?
I sneak in if, Go-Go naps at the perfect time, that second nap. I try to sneak in a nap then, too. I can't tell you how often I wake up from that, 40-minute nap thinking I've missed my alarm.
Oh, yeah.
I go, oh, my God. Oh, my God. I'm supposed to be at work. The sun's up. Oh, wait.
Oh, by the way, I want to mention something to people so it doesn't look like I'm just being a prick or whatever. But I did notice, I got a Facebook message from Mae Young yesterday, but I don't go on social media.
Mae's great.
Yeah,
Isn't
I love Mae. Mae. I've always liked her. She's a nice, very nice person. But she's still doing a lot of voiceover, isn't she?
Mm-hmm.
I thought she was. Yeah, she was kicking ass on that deal. But I just need to tell people I don't go on social media. If I still have accounts, I don't even know about them. I just don't go on social media. I don't care for it. It's not my way of communicating. So I'm not ignoring you, whether it's listeners or friends or old friends or whatever. I'm not ignoring you. I just don't go on social media. I have no use for it whatsoever. I like talking. Talking?
I don't know what that is.
You don't have it?
No.
You're not dialed in?
Please send me an email if you're directing anything to me right now.
So I'm just looking at the headlines of the day today, looking down at the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, we've been told for how many months now that everything's wonderful and things are really cooking, and boy, it's really coming together nicely. And now we find out yesterday that if they don't make some changes, we're going to default on June 1st. Isn't that great news?
Ooh.
Well, luckily, there's always a government that can build. Oh, wait a second.
Oh,
no.
Wait a minute. How do you all of a sudden sneak up on we're going to default in less than 30 days if we don't do something? We knew this was coming. Yeah, you guys knew this was coming, right?
That's
how they always do it.
There has to be some one person that was hired to just have a chart and go, we're not going to make it.
I think, we'll make it. This is just to scare the people into being prudent with their vote. That's what this is all about. I don't know. Maybe we will. If we will. You know what I've decided? If we default on June 1st, I'm just going to quit everything and walk the earth. What do you think?
What shoes are you going to, what it's going to be your footwear?
What are these?
Those are Asics.
Oh, Asics. Yeah, they don't even make these anymore.
They make Asics? Oh, you mean that style?
No, I heard that the Asics is not going to make tennis shoes anymore.
What?
Because I love their tennis shoes. I think they make the best tennis shoes, but there's something about pricing or some damn thing. I don't know what it is.
I think you're right. Gal pal of mine's a big runner, and she was complaining the other day that Asics are that there's a certain brand or a style that is going out. So I think you're on to something there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with her 100%. I think they're by far the best shoes for running. Well, I walk, 6, 7, 8 miles every day. I just love walking in any case. And these are very, very comfortable shoes to walk in. There's no doubt about that. So hopefully they'll keep making them.
I went Hoka when I was pregnant, and now I can't go back.
What's Hoka?
Hoka. They're the big ones with the big sole.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And they look very, geriatric-esque.
Like Herman Munster?
Yeah. And once you go Hoka, you rarely go back.
Can you do that?
Ho, ho, ho.
No, not ho, ho, ho. That's Santa.
No, but
It's
ho, ho, ho.
They are much closer. Much closer. Fred, was it? It was Fred Munster, wasn't it? Herman Munster. That's
Herman Munster.
I still love the Munsters, and if it comes on, I'll watch it. Addams Family. I still think that stuff is hilarious. I really do.
The Munsters were a very unique thing for their time. Now we have a lot of funny, zany things like that, where it's what if this met this,
Yeah.
But I'd say that the Munsters were definitely ahead of their time.
I just loved everything about the Munsters because she was far too good for him, as we all knew.
Yeah.
Herman was just a very lucky man. Fred Gwynne was terrific at that role.
Did you watch Wednesday?
Yeah, we watched Wednesday. Yep.
I thought that was so good.
It was. Somebody told me she's actually like 23 years old.
Yeah, I think she's a little bit older, yeah. And when I say older, obviously not old, but yeah, older than like a 17-year-old.
Yeah, 16, 17-year-old supposed to be in the show, but she's terrific.
Jenna Ortega.
Yeah.
I don't know where she got, well, I know where she got the look. She copied it from Catherine. When Catherine's looking at me, it's like, oh, really?
She's 20.
Oh, she's 20. I thought she was a little older than that.
Still older than, because I think like the people of Beverly Hills 90210 were like 27 and playing like 16-year-olds.
But they looked it.
Yeah.
Like they looked it. Jenna Ortega, she can get away with it. She was at the Met Ball, and she still looks like a little kid. Or Met Gala, I'm sorry.
Some of them do, yep.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah, we just, the big news, and again, this is all just political movement, and this is not talking about politics. This is talking about our government running, and if it's going to or not. But if we don't do something about the situation, we're going to default on June 1st. I don't think there's any chance that'll ever happen. So what is the scare tactic here by telling people this? Because you've been denying it month after month after month. When everybody says things are not looking good, so now all of a sudden you're within 30 days. So now we got to do something or we're going under. Why do they do that?
I don't know.
It's to scare the people, I know, but why do you need to scare the people? I don't get that either.
I don't know. And you said it's you proclamate or you guessed that it was about getting people to vote, but for who?
Oh, it has some. Well, there's only two people to vote for, so it's one or the other.
Yeah.
And that's all they do now is buy votes. That's just how they do things. Well, I suppose they always have, I guess. I don't know. But I highly doubt that the United States government is going to collapse. I don't like the fact that China's getting a lot stronger every day. It's just, what are you going to do?
So how does that work? Does the sheriff go up and put the eviction notice on the White House after we default? Like,
I guess.
Does a tow truck come up and tow away Air Force One? I'm not sure how this works.
We're taking this airplane with us. You ever seen that airplane? Like
not
in person?
Not in person, no.
I've not been on it or anything, but I've just seen it at the airport.
Yeah, I have seen the helicopter leave the White House and then go to, I can't remember which airport it's at, but to bring the president to the airport to get on the Air Force One. I've seen that, but never seen Air Force One in action.
Yeah, it's, as a matter of fact, where we spend some of the time in the winter. When he was president, Donald Trump always had Air Force One down at the airport, down at Palm Beach International Airport, PBI. That thing is as big as an office building.
Is it?
My God, that plane is huge.
Did you ever watch Veep?
Oh, yeah, I watched Veep.
I love the scenes in the airplane. I also love the idea of an airplane being so good you could just go lay on like a queen-size bed somewhere and take a nap. Like, ugh.
That is the deal. So, yeah, like I said, do I think we're going to default? No, I do not. They'll work it out, but it's going to cost you and me. Somehow it's going to cost the taxpayers more money to save the government when they should have done it months and months and months ago.
Patrick did email in and say quack, quack. So he is telling us to pivot away from politics.
No, this is not politics. I'm just talking about the economy now.
I know. I'm
This
just
is not politics,
just warning you.
It's not the politics.
You're right on the edge.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about the economy.
No, I'm saying like you're walking that line of close to politics.
No, here's the politics.
politics
deal.
adjacent.
Here's what's politics.
Okay.
I hate Democrats and Republicans. Is that political enough?
Quack, quack.
Quack, quack. No, I'm just talking about the. Look, it's not talking about politics, trying to figure out how can we not default. That'd be good.
You want some more emails?
Sure, I'd love some more email.
They said, Rudy, we're interested in attending a comedy club. Would you have a suggestion for the first time?
Ooh, that was Tom. Who sent me an email, sent in the email last night. I read it. I actually emailed him back and told him that Jay Moore is in town Thursday through Saturday.
Oh, that's nice.
Tried to get him on the show. Obviously, Jay Moore is big time to me a little bit. It's totally fine.
It's fine. You're not hung up on it at all.
Yeah, he's a super nice guy and a great comic, and is actually getting married this summer to Jeannie Buss, the owner of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Congratulations
There you have- no.
to everyone involved.
Where's he appearing?
House of Comedy at Mall of America.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah. I'm gonna probably run up there Thursday night because I've chatted with him a few times. I've never seen his show, but I sent friends of mine last time he was in town, and they said he is lights out, the funniest guy I've ever seen. And his performances on podcasts and whenever he's on a talk show, I mean, he brings the thunder. He's so funny.
God, I've not seen him in years.
Yeah. He looks a little different. He had a little bit of a drug problem there for a while.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He went to rehab. He's very open about it though, about how he got off Adderall. I mean, he was sniffing. He was snorting Adderall at like wrestling practices at a high school, and he was like, maybe it's time.
Yeah.
So he lost all of his hair, and he's getting hair plugs, and he's losing weight, and he's getting his life back together. But he's very, very open about it. It's very funny.
And one more time, the name?
Jay Moore.
Jay Moore. Perfect.
M-O-H-R.
Yeah.
He used to come in back in the day. He used to come in and do the. My family podcast has been on for 11 years now, so that's going back a ways. But yeah, I've really never. I've talked to him, but I've never really gotten to know him all that well or whatever. But does it surprise you that he didn't want to come in and do the show?
No, because I think all the shows are close to being sold out.
Yeah.
So he's like, well, I don't have to promote it, But obviously, it's his prerogative if he doesn't want to come.
Yeah.
But we've talked about this before, how there is a whole new group of comedians that feel like they don't need to do press.
No, you're right.
And that drives me nuts.
Boy, we used to get them all. I
Yeah.
mean, we used to get everybody would come in. And Jay Moore's been on the queue. I know that.
Sure.
But that was when he needed something. But human beings are like that. If I don't need you, then I ain't going to do it.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's not the way I would do business. I would always promote my shows. I got to be honest with you. How many people do you think Brittany's age even know who he is?
I did when I look at his picture, I go, oh, I know exactly
See,
who that
but
is.
you didn't recognize
Not by
his
the
name.
name, no.
Yeah.
See, that's a little scary to be not doing press if they don't even know who you are.
Yeah, well, I mean, Kristyn Burtt last week was talking about how there are no new celebrities.
No, that's right.
We're still
That's
looking
right.
at movies with Brad Pitt, Julia Roberts, George Clooney.
Yeah.
Like they just
Yep.
haven't moved on. There's always been a crop of like a good farm team of celebrities coming up the back end. You had a Heath Ledger, he's gone.
Yeah.
And now they just keep pumping them out on TikTok and YouTube, and no more big celebrities. Yeah, weird.
It is. You're absolutely right about that. I did, speaking of celebrities, or people of note anyway, I see that Gordon Lightfoot has died at the age of 84. Gordon was an interesting. Did you ever meet Gordon?
No.
No. Very, very talented man. But he took over the championship because I think the first time I ever met him, he was like 30-something. And I said, hey, Mr. Lightfoot, do you know when your son's going to get here? Because I thought he was his dad.
Oh, really?
Gordon was a huge drinker.
Oh, yeah, that'll age you.
I mean, not just a rumor. That boy could go after it. As a matter of fact, I gave him a ride a couple of times from one place. He was not on Capitol Records. He was on was he on Warner Brothers maybe? I can't remember. But very, very nice guy. But that boy loved to drink, man. And I did see the pictures. God bless you, Gordon. I loved your music. And, of course, everybody's writing out, didn't he write the F. Scott Fitzgerald? Like, yeah, I suppose. In a way, I guess he did. But, no, very, very nice guy. He liked the cocktail. There's no doubt about it. But I saw his picture of his last performance. Remember the grandma on the Munsters? Or was it the Addams Family?
Addams Family.
She looked like she was about 200 years old.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that would have been Gordon's picture. Holy Christ, the Crypt Keeper.
Really?
He looked terrible.
I'm looking him up.
Gordon was one of those guys, you could look at him from a picture of 3 weeks ago or
Yeah.
a picture from 1977, and you're like, I don't know which one is sooner to today. Like,
Oh, yeah.
he's one of those guys.
Yeah.
He got like Steve Martin. Steve Martin at the age of 23 was 45, and now Steve Martin is 73, and he still looks like he's 45. It's
He
just
does.
weird, yeah.
Yep. You ever see him in person?
Steve Martin?
Really, really funny.
Oh, yeah.
I thought, anyway.
Did you see when they both toured the Steven?
No, they came on the show a couple
Yeah,
of
that's
times,
what it was. I was like, and they were
Yeah.
so funny.
Well, they're very, very nice people. Both of them are. Martin Short's another great guy.
And
Really good guy.
Martin Short and Steve Martin, one thing that they do that was so rare is they prepared for the interview and had little bits,
Yep.
to go back and forth that were naturally put in there. That's so rare nowadays.
What was the name of the old St. Paul, that old kind of, I never cared for that arena. What the hell was the name of that thing again?
The arena?
Yeah, the one where XL is now. There was.
The Met Center. Well, no, that was the Met Center. That was in Bloomington.
That was in Bloomington. Over in St. Paul. What the hell is the name of that again?
Oh, let me look it up. I know
big
what you're
round
talking-
white
Yeah,
building.
they used to have the state hockey tournament there. And
Yes.
They show the highlights from back in the day, and like the plexiglass is. Yeah, it's. Let me look it up real quick.
As soon as he finds out, because I cannot remember the name, what name they used for that, but not that big a deal. But it was not. I didn't really care for that arena. XL is beautiful.
The St. Paul Civic Center.
I was
St.
thinking
Paul
Civic
Civic
Center
Center
in my
was it?
head, and I finally looked it up. I literally looked it up, and it says Mayo Civic Center. So I was like, maybe I'm making that up.
Making it up as you go along. I saw Steve Martin at the Civic Center in St. Paul seat. I think it did seat 16, 17,000, something like that.
All right.
I think that's about right. Sold the place out. There's no question about it. So he walks out on stage in the middle of the arena that's packed with people, probably more than 17,000 because there were a lot of people on the floor too.
Yeah, it says capacity 16,000, but that I imagine was seats like during a hockey game. So if you add in the extra floor, I would imagine it's got to be 17.5 to 18. Yeah.
Yep, I would think that's probably true. He walks out on stage. He turns around in a circle and looks at all of the audience. And he goes, I've been dreaming about this for a long time, appearing at an arena like this. I'd now, ladies and gentlemen, like to do, and he reaches in his pocket, takes something out, holds it up and goes, I'd like to do my dime trick. Because everybody's like 500 feet from the stage.
That's so funny.
He's going to do a dime trick.
That's very funny.
Yeah. Anytime like younger comics ask me advice about comedy, I give them one joke and it's Steve Martin's. And I'm like, you should base every joke you
Hilarious.
write off of one joke from Steve Martin. And it is how to become a millionaire. Step 1. Get $1 million.
Get $1 million. Oh, that's a good start.
That should be every joke you write. Set up punchline. Set up punchline. How did the chicken cross the road to get to the other side? That's how you write, and he was the best at it.
He was indeed a very, very talented man, no question about it. Ladies and gentlemen, the weather, sunny and breezy, warmer with a high of 60, though, but it's still going to be breezy. That wind was blowing yesterday, man. Sunny and breezy, warmer with a high of 60. Sunny, not as breezy, warmer, 68 tomorrow. Then warm and mostly sunny, 70. Thursday's the day, 74 and sunny, baby. Then Friday, partly sunny with a few afternoon showers with a high of 70 again. On Saturday, a high of 68. So we're pretty much the high 60s, 70s now once we get past today. Mm-hmm. But even today, sunny, breezy, and warmer. I'll take sunny, breezy, and 60, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Sunny right now, it is, I want to make sure this is right. No, it's dropped down to 39. It was 40, but now it's 39. What the hell is that all about? In any case, yeah, so sunny and 39 now, but 60, sunny and breezy later on today. We'll take a break, be right back in a couple of minutes. We got some hunyucks coming up later on this hour. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, of course.
Kristyn, I got to talk about it before she comes on, though. No, now I'll have to talk about it when she's on. Damn it.
Yeah.
We'll take a break, be right back. This time, we have a new sponsor to the show, and it's a family business, which is my favorite kind of business. You know that. The owner lives here. His name is Tom Dean. My mother's name was Dean. She pronounced it Dane, D-E-H-N. But my mother's Theophila Dane, the love of God, Dean. What do you think?
Her head at all.
Oh, not at all, no. His name is Tom Dean. I'm talking about two great businesses that are serving their customers as one, Power Lodge and Miller Marine. Whatever power sport, marine product you're looking for, it all starts at the Lodge, Power Lodge. Receive the incredible shopping experience you're looking for, and it just so happens that both these stores are kicking off the warm outdoor season with a sale this week. Save money and win stuff during the Power Sale through Saturday, May 6th with Power Lodge and Miller Marine. They're in Brainerd, Ramsey, Onamia, and Miller Marine, of course, is in St. Cloud. Save on all pontoons. I love pontoons. I miss my pontoon. I got to get a new pontoon. Love them. Save on all pontoons with entry-level brands starting at $19,990, and that includes pontoon motor and trailer. You're going to hear a lot about Power Lodge and Miller Marine from me. I said from me. Did you hear me, sister?
I heard you.
I'm going to be hearing a lot about Power Lodge and Miller Marine from me in the coming months. But during this week's Power Sale, go to any location and get some throttle therapy. I said throttle therapy.
Throttle therapy. I love that.
On land and water, millermarine.com and powerlodge.com, and you can tell them Tommy sent you.
Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. If you've been hurt in a car collision, it's traumatic enough. You don't need to waste time and energy on the legal stuff. Think of us as a partner who will guide you through the process. First off, you need to recover, but part of that is getting the compensation you deserve. At Bradshaw & Bryant, we'll work hard so you can get the rest you need during the trying months after a personal injury. At Bradshaw & Bryant, we understand how important it is to make our clients comfortable, so we build each client relationship on the pillars of honesty and transparency. Don't miss out on what's rightfully yours. We'll go to bat for you. For your free case consultation, please visit minnesotapersonalinjury.com. That's minnesotapersonalinjury.com. I'm Mike Bryan. I hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to Bradshaw & Bryant.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
With Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
Oh, we got a really the kind of aggressive email I like from Lori in Wisconsin, and she said, "This is what's happening in Hurley, Wisconsin right now. Quit your bitching."
Is that a snow? That's happening right now.
That's what she claims. That's what Lori claims.
Is that a snowstorm?
Is that really, Lori? Be honest.
It's 60.
I gotta.
Yeah, Lori, you're making up as you go along.
I'm gonna go look up Hurley, Wisconsin.
Oh, you know what? I think she just kind of, as an example, even though it's May 2nd, so it's probably not going to be too snowy. It has snowed. It once snowed in June. I'll never forget that.
I'm pretty sure it's snowing in Hurley, Wisconsin.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, I've got snowy and 32 right now.
See?
I'm sorry, Lori. Whatever we were complaining about, I'm so sorry. Tom is such a sugar tit all the way.
Why am I a sugar tit? What did I do?
You know why.
No, you don't know why.
You know why.
Candy ass. All the way.
I just had to keep repeating myself, and I knew you'd find some moment of,
God, you're unbelievable. Get away from me.
I can't.
Why don't I get my own studio?
We're gonna build another wall.
Another wall.
We got Rudy his own room. We're gonna get you your own room.
Okay.
And I'll just sit in the hallway.
Well, this is my own because I paid for that window, so I get to look at it.
Okay, so I don't get to look at it?
No, you're out of the mix.
I'm shutting my eyes.
Send me a check for $2,200.
Whoa!
No, that was kind of cool, actually. Oh, by the way, the Roscoff people who put that in, very, very nice. He brings a Christmas present to us every year, which is very nice. But the amazing thing is, I'm sitting here. That was February 15th. They put that in, I think. Something like that.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So it's 2.5 months ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't, what's going on? I never did receive the bill for that, putting that window in. And then I'm looking around, and because I can't remember the category that it was in. I got to find this because it's just, I would have never, had I not gone to look for it, I'd have never found it. It was in the personal section of Gmail.
And so you would have technically hadn't paid for it?
See, that says personal.
They're going to come and take our window?
No, I paid for it now that I found the bill. I paid for it immediately.
It's just going to be a gaping hole?
Yeah, it's going to be a gaping hole right there.
At least we could pass snacks back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Who handles your finances, you or Catherine?
It depends on what you're talking about.
Okay, you guys both kind of in
She has her own, and I have my own, and I
didn't know,
you take care of all that stuff.
I didn't know if there was one person who oversees the bills, because Justin oversees our bills, our water bills.
We do it together, actually. Catherine and I kind of do it together, which is good.
Lori wrote back.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's snowing right now. We've got 20 inches over the weekend.
20 inches.
And over 250 inches this year.
Jesus, Palomino. That's amazing.
Barbara wrote in, and she wrote about that it was a civic center, and I said thank you, and then she wrote thank you. You are the glue.
Oh Jesus! See, now we got to put up with this for the rest of our lives.
I'll be in my trailer.
I'll be in my glue tube, my gorilla tube.
I'm not gorilla glue.
You are gorilla glue.
I'm Elmer's. I'm barely
We'll start
functional.
calling you Gigi now. Hey, Gigi, Go and Gigi. Gorilla glue. It'd be phenomenal.
Gigi. We call my great grandma Gigi.
Or do you? Mm-hmm. I had Minnie and Edith.
Oh, that's
why. I eat it.
Edith. I'm very hairy.
Well, see.
That's true.
Full disclosure.
I can't fight with that bitch. She's right.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Very, very negative, I thought. Mm. Are you going to make up for it now by not being negative?
No.
Nope. So you're just going to be, and that's all there is to it?
Lean into it.
All right, so we got Kristyn Burtt's coming up in a couple of minutes, and then it's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
The text messages that I get. So, like I said, I get emails and text messages. I don't. There's a lot of stuff being posted on Facebook and Twitter and all that, but I don't go on those. So I'd like to remind you again, I'm not ignoring you, and I'm not just not responding to you. I just don't go on social media, and I haven't in years. So that's that.
I had an old client of mine that she was like 26, 27 years old, and like the signature of her email said, pardon me, but if it's after 4 p.m. any day of the week, I won't get back to you till the next day because I turn off all electronic devices and don't look at any social media. And I was like, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are?
You're healthy?
That you get to just go ahead and set good boundaries for yourself. Knock that off.
Knock it up. You need to have at least 4 mental breakdowns a year. How dare you?
You're not going to get an argument from me, I'll tell you that. No, I couldn't agree with her more, and I have enough trouble just... We've been trying to watch this show called The Diplomat. Have you seen this show, The Diplomat?
Yeah, I've seen it. Is it good?
No, I didn't. It's very mediocre, I think.
Okay.
I don't get it. It's a woman that's going to become vice president or something.
Yeah.
Well, nobody gives a rat's ass about the vice president. Why are they even making a show about it?
They already had Veep.
Yeah, they had Veep. But that was comedy anyway.
It was so funny.
This
The
one's not
writing
a
on that
comedy.
one's just insane. But I heard The Diplomat, the review I got from Lori was that it definitely has a soap opera element
It does,
to it.
yeah, which is why I don't like it.
Yeah, she said she liked it, but she said it's definitely over the top and like you have to like that kind of ridiculousness.
Well, I shouldn't say I don't like it. I just don't think it's very good. It's okay,
Yeah,
I guess.
that's
Does it get
okay.
any better? Does she know if it gets any better? Because I've only seen 2 episodes.
I don't know. She liked it, but she also told me like if you don't like that soap opera arc, don't watch it. And I'm not a big fan.
No, you're right. And that's why if Catherine wants to keep watching it, I'll watch it, but it's not all that impressive. Got to be honest with you. The guy who stars in it is good, but I can never remember his name. The guy who plays her husband.
Do you watch Succession?
No, I tried. I heard it's really good.
It's so good.
That's what I've heard. I've heard it's really good.
Yeah, because we're in the middle of Succession. What are we on, the 3rd or 4th season this year? But it's every Sunday now on HBO. You would love it.
So I got to tell you about watching shows.
Yeah.
It's now, I believe, 5 or 6 days since Catherine was talking to Michael Bryant on the phone, and he heard me talking about Corner Gas, which that is a show that inspired so many other great shows. It's when you watch it, it's so obvious that it inspired other people, including Eugene Levy's show, Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
There's definitely a Corner Gas element to that show. But so Michael Bryant, I got to find something new to watch. Catherine said, well, Tom showed me this show. It's called Corner Gas. I think you'd really like it. That was 6 days ago.
Yeah.
There are 78 episodes, I believe, of that show. He watched them all in 4 days.
I'm convinced.
78 episodes.
I am convinced that mofo has more hours in the day than us.
He must have. Jesus.
The things he gets done is crazy.
It's true.
And then drives up north, goes fights with pedophiles in court, and then comes here. He's like, hey, if you throw him a question, he'll answer it immediately. He used to text me sometimes because he was like, hey, going to that hot yoga place you recommended or whatever. It's just like, who are you?
So Succession, how many seasons? It's the final year this year, isn't it?
I think so.
I think it was the final year.
It's so good. It would be so up your alley because it's just monsters.
But very wealthy billionaires, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And oh my God, that's excuse me. There's a guy from Minnesota, Tom, who's hilarious, and then he's got an assistant, Greg, who you would just die over. There's so many funny things and very serious things, and they mix, and it's just, you would love it. I think you would love it.
Well, I need a new show to watch now because we're running out of a couple of them.
You tried Succession, and it wasn't your jam. Was it one episode you tried?
I only saw the first episode. That was it.
Okay.
And it was all about how wealthy they were and obnoxious they were. So I went, I don't know if I want to watch this. These people are way too obnoxious.
Yeah.
But I'll give it a whirl because everybody tells me I'd love that show.
You would I'm almost shocked you are not currently watching it.
there are only so many hours in the day, sister.
Not if you're Michael Bryant.
That's true. That's a whole different. I can watch 78 shows in 4 days. It's unbelievable. Amazing, as a matter of fact. So, yeah, I got to find some new stuff to watch. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to last much longer on The Diplomat unless it gets a lot better. I just think it's kind of boring. Don't you think it's boring?
You have to let Catherine, like, when we hit those moments where Justin's not into a show, he goes, you can do this one on your own.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it's easier because then I can watch it whenever.
Yeah, exactly.
He did that with Shrinking, which he regrets because he actually would watch it.
Shrinking's good.
It was so funny.
Yeah,
and I was
really
like,
good.
I think he just wasn't in the mood that week to be, like, watching television.
Yep.
And we usually watch, like, one episode a night of something, maybe, if we, like, are, like, not running around busy. So he was like, you can do this on your own, but he regrets it. But, like, you got to give that person free reign. You have to release them from the we are watching this together mode and let them go off on their own.
I still haven't caught up on all the Leave It to Beavers, and I got to get that done because it's been off the air for about 50 years. And
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler, he left it.
I was just going to say that.
He left the show, ladies and gentlemen.
He left it to Beaver.
You know that everybody on that show but Jerry Mathers is dead?
Sure.
Everybody on that show. Tony Dow died, about a year ago? Something like that. His older brother in the show. But I still think that Leave It to Beaver is the funniest show ever on television. It's hilarious. Very well written. Joe Connolly wrote almost, I don't know if he wrote every episode, but if he didn't write them all, he was very, very close. Joe Connolly, a brilliant producer, writer, director, all of that stuff. Really, really smart. Okay, I have to ask you a question because we got Kristyn's coming up in about 2 minutes. So let me ask you this question. Why I would ask this question, I don't know, but this is the headline. Is cereal soup? No, it's not soup.
No.
What stupid questions?
I know.
Your mouth just said the weirdest question.
My mouth.
Say it again. Is
cereal soup?
No. Don't.
No, it's not.
What?
They say there are no dumb questions, but here is one. Is cereal soup? Over 20,000 people took an online poll, and 11 to 12% said yes, it is soup. No, it is not a soup.
No.
11% of us think that in a technical sense, cereal... See, that's the new thing now. Well, technically... It's like, no, not technically. It's not soup, all right?
I would never... If they were like soup of the day, this week we have tomato, we have potato, and we have Captain Crunch. I'd be like, what the hell?
What are you talking
No.
about?
Turn around.
Okay, 5 more questions and we get to Kristyn Burtt, and right on time. Can you smell air? 68% said yes, 32% said no. You can smell stuff in the air, but not the air itself. Is tea just dirty water? 18% said yeah. How is tea dirty water?
I mean...
Tea bag's dirty?
Yeah, you soak it in leaves, I guess.
I guess. Yeah. But don't they hose down the leaves, don't they?
I imagine that there's got to be some sort of chemical process they put them through.
I hope so. Is Santa having elves ethical? That's assuming they get room and board, but no actual money. We're split on that one. I don't know if you know this or not, but they're not real.
Whoa.
When are they going to start? Seriously, I can't take people much longer. I really can't. Is Santa ethical? Could you just leave him alone? I know you might not have him in your fake religion, but tough titty. You know what I mean?
I feel that way about stormtroopers on Star Wars. Like, do they get paychecks? Or
That's
is
such
there
a good question.
Is there an HR department? I'd like to know. Do they get time off, PTO?
I mean, if they die in action, do their family receive compensation? That's a great question. And, like, how do they know one from the other?
Yeah, is the emperor bothering them every 2 weeks going, hey, don't forget to approve your ADP?
You're comparing our poster. Did you see that? It was Adam Driver, the undercover boss.
Yes.
As it's
Kylo Ren. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very funny.
It's so funny. That's good insight into their workplace.
Oh, what is it?
On Saturday Night Live, they did like a short, where they do like the skit. It was Kylo Ren, the bad guy from Star Wars.
Yeah.
He was like undercover boss, so he was pretending to go into, the workplace and act like an everyday person, talking to his, subordinates. And so it was so funny because if they'd say something he didn't like, next thing you know, he's like killing them with the force in the hand,
Jesus.
And it was so funny.
Is that show any good anymore?
Saturday Night Live?
Yeah.
No.
I haven't watched it in like 30 years.
It's one of those ones you can get away with. The skits are usually good. but I can watch all that later.
Way too political for me.
If I try to watch it live, there's so many bad skits in between the good parts. It just feels like a waste of time.
Weekend Update is still the best.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Weekend Update's still great, but everything else kind of lacks.
Yeah.
I just, the one that really drove me away, and I didn't watch it live, but said, Tom, you have got to watch this. And I don't even remember who it was, but somebody got elected president several years ago, and Saturday Night Live didn't like it. It must have been some Republican guy, or I don't know, whatever. And the woman, I never remember her name.
Kate McKinnon.
Kate McKinnon sat at the piano and sang a mournfully sad song.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, Hallelujah. Are you insane? What is that?
Yeah, it was awful.
It was terrible. And I said, okay, now I know for sure I'm never coming back. Look, you can support your guy. Your guy didn't win. The other guy won. But this show's supposed to be funny, not mournfully sad. Unless somebody dies, of course. That's a whole different deal. But, hey, you watch what you watch. Okay, so Santa is ethical, so shut up before I come over there. Is a smoothie really just baby food for adults? Do you think? That's a pretty good question, I think.
Pretty much, yeah. So somebody who's made baby food quite a bit, yeah.
Okay, now this next one, I might have to, because I got an edge to me today, and I don't know what it's from. But if you walked up to me and said this, I might have to shove you down. I'd have to push you down. Does pizza taste better in a square or a circle? What? That's going to affect the taste, is it?
Okay, it does throw me off because I get that we're saying a square giant pizza, but I feel like it'd be a better question to say square or triangle.
Yeah.
Would you?
But I mean, do you care what shape it's in? I don't.
I don't know. There was a girl that still works at Hubbard Broadcasting, and we give her a hard time about it, so I'm not talking out of school, but she had somebody that I worked with cut her sandwich one day. And we were like, why? And she goes, it tastes better when a mom cuts it. She was like 22 years old.
God bless her.
She asked someone in her 40s, can you cut my sandwich? Because it tastes better when a mom cuts it.
Oh, that's kind of sweet, actually.
It's sweet, but it was a little weird.
It's
like
very
so weird.
And then
it's so weird.
She said, well, my mom makes my lunch every day, and she forgot to cut my sandwich into a triangle.
No, I cannot.
Weird, very strange. I agree.
As somebody who microwaves her little egg thing in the morning and eats it in the car while driving, that is pathetic.
Yeah.
Having no. And then will you whisper your secrets in it as well? You're being so weird.
Awful.
Okay, let me just point something out. We got two pizza. Well, we go to different ones. Like I get red Savoy a lot, but one of the kids in the family, it's a little too, the tomato, I don't know.
Spicy kind of feel
Yeah,
it?
it's too spicy for them,
Yeah,
but I love red Savoy.
Same.
I think it's wonderful. There's a place, Olives, that's just about, I don't know, it's not even a half mile from my house. Great people. John is one of the owners, really, really good. And their pizzas are all rectangular, okay? They serve them rectangular. Now, Campiello, which, you know Larry, don't you?
I think I've met him, I think so.
Really good. Their pizza is round and delicious. So don't you, should I order red Savoy? Should I order this? Should I order that? Luigi's went under, which pisses me off to no end. They couldn't get around. There was a place called Luigi's over on 36. You know where the Lunds of Marley's is, right there on 36th and Highway 100?
Yeah.
It's right across the highway for the freeway or whatever from there.
Yeah.
And there was all this construction and all of this.
Yeah,
and
they
all
had
the
a
COVID.
lot of stuff there. It was hard to even, there's a gas station over there, even getting to was hard.
Yeah. Luigi's apparently is not going to reopen, which makes me sad because they're really good pizza.
I'm going to say this about triangles versus square.
Okay.
I will eat a lot more when it's cut into squares because I can rationalize, I'll just take one more. But the triangles, I have to really think, am I still hungry before I commit to grabbing a whole other triangle?
Really?
So I will find
your
myself...
smaller squares you're talking about.
Yeah, I will find myself grabbing those squares even if I'm I'm not that hungry, but I really want one more piece of that. I will eat more, I think, with the squares because it's it's real easy to eat a lot.
All right, this next segment's going to be very painful for me. I got to suffer through it. As you know, Britt, has her special days, all the rest of it. She's the glue of the show. She's magnificent. Oh, my God, it's wonderful. Well, I had an argument yesterday from a listener, actually a couple of listeners, that said, yes, she is the glue, but let's not forget about Kristyn Burtt. And then I had to hear about a half an hour about how wonderful you are. What is that?
Hang on one second. You got your mic on, Tom. Hang on a second.
There, I got it mute.
Okay, there you go. Okay, now we're good. Hi, Kristyn.
I got what?
Good
mic on?
morning, everyone.
I got
Is
what
everyone-
on?
Okay.
Through
I'm just trying to
StreamYard, you had your mic on. It was still on from in there. We had to turn it off. We were getting feedback.
Oh,
That's
I don't
why.
know anything about that.
No, we're good
Oh,
now.
I see
yeah,
what you're saying.
Yeah, we're good now. Yep, she's good. Hi, Kristyn.
Hi, good morning. Oh, I can talk normally now. Fabulous.
Okay, so
I love the introduction. I'm sorry you have to hear about me all the time.
okay, you want to hear what they actually said? It's just, Jesus, pal, I said, leave me alone. To all the people. Listeners, just don't bother me with either Brittany or Kristyn Burtt. That's all I'm saying. So they went on and on and on about you and the content and blah, 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 blah. And then, of course, I had to hear about how beautiful both of you are. I'm like, oh, Jesus. I said, what?
It must
Get
have
away
been,
from me.
It must have been Justin calling in.
Yes, it must
and
have been your
saying
husband.
How
calling.
beautiful Brittany and Kristyn are.
I was just going to say, do you know how hard it is to look even like sort of decent at 5:30 in the morning?
5:30 in the morning is a little tough. That's true.
So just let them know there's a lot of work and prep that goes into looking like D+.
No, I understand. And so Rudy and I are just going to sit back and just hear about how wonderful and beautiful and magnificent the women are on the show.
Well, you know, if me and Kristyn get a chance
Jesus.
to talk, we're only going to talk about reality TV. So
that's it?
As much as you
You're
think that we're
talking
going to
about-
talk about how beautiful we are, we're going to immediately going to go into like Vanderpump Rules mode.
Oh, God. Are you going to bring that crap up? Leave me alone.
See?
Get away from me.
You're welcome.
So in any case, Snow White and the other Sleeping Beauty or whatever the hell your names are.
I'm the dwarf. Oh, I think she's frozen.
Why are you frozen? Kristyn's signal is frozen. She's
But
looking
it's
at me like,
I got a
yeah, she is
screenshot. It's so intense.
doesn't she look like she's going,
Maybe
coming to get you, Tom.
I thought she was Snow White, but maybe she's the dwarf.
Which could be. Did it freeze up just because of overpraising? Is that the problem?
That's what it was. There was too much praise going through the line.
Too much praise.
And it
felt
froze.
that.
I'll remove her, and then we'll try to get her back on.
All right, that sounds good. Yeah, we're not in any hurry to get through the segment, so that's a good thing. But it is very nice of you to reach out to me and tell me the people you like on the show. And I mean, they like everybody, don't get me wrong.
I got a TV recommendation from somebody just now. Do you want it?
Okay.
Mike emailed saying, being a former drunken submarine sailor and an ex-booze hound in civilian life, I like watching NYPD Blue with Andy, was it Sipowicz?
Yep, Sipowicz. Yep.
Who has his battles with the bottle. For some reason, I find comfort in that, and I believe that helps me staying sober. A new show I like is Single Drunk Female on Hulu.
Single drunk female. What is that? That's
Some
a
show on Hulu, yeah.
Oh, it is. I don't know that one.
Yeah.
Good. We need more shows to pop up and all the rest of it. I really am having a great time watching streaming. No doubt about it.
Oh, yeah.
It is terrific, but so now I got a couple more that I got to lock into. Is that the ticket?
Yeah, there's people send in some good recommendations.
Oh, look at this. She just disappeared on us. What the hell happened?
Real quick, just because we're already at that time, do you guys want to take a quick break? We'll
Yeah,
come
why
back
don't we?
and
That's a
hang-
great
yeah,
idea.
Let's do that, yeah.
Okay, why don't we take the break, come back, and then I can yell at Brittany some more because she's dropping the ball like there's no tomorrow.
No problem.
We're blaming it all on her.
Of course.
Yeah, back in a couple of minutes with Kristyn Burtt, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, my friend Mike Lindell has a passion to help everyone get the best sleep of their lives. He didn't stop by simply creating the best pillow. Mike created the Giza Dream bed sheets. They look and feel great, which means an even better night's sleep for me, which, of course, is crucial for my busy schedule. Mike found the world's best cotton. It's called Giza. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. Mike's Giza sheets come with a 60-day money-back guarantee, a 10-year warranty. Giza Dream sheets come in a variety of sizes and colors. Mike's latest incredible deal is the sale of the year. For a limited time, you'll receive 50% off the Giza Dream sheets. You'll receive a set for as low as $29.98. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio podcast square, and use promo code TOM. There you'll find not only this amazing offer, but also deep discounts on all MyPillow products, including the MyPillow 2.0 mattress topper, MyPillow towel sets, and so much more. Call 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM, or go to MyPillow.com. Make sure you use the promo code TOM. Tom here. Why should your business work with my friends at North American Banking Company? Here's Minnesota hockey legend Winnie Brown of OS Hockey.
North American Banking Company has really allowed our business to grow over the years because whenever we have a question, we have the convenience of being able to walk in or we know exactly who to call to get things done.
To learn more about North American Banking Company, go to nabankco.com. That's nabankco.com, or visit any one of their Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Yeah, and Kristyn, I know you're too beautiful to appear on the show, and you had to shut down the stream. But could you just pop on?
Just did the weirdest thing. It started just doing a weird meltdown.
Yeah.
Why do I sound like I'm on the phone, but you don't?
Look at you. You think you're so funny talking through your pop can.
It's a pop bottle. It's not a pop can.
You're such a problematic person because if Rudy didn't see that, he'd be like, well, what's going on?
Yeah.
Why?
Pressing buttons, working his magic.
So what happened? You just kind of disappeared on us.
I honestly, StreamYard did this weird thing. All of a sudden, it started slowing down, and then it just disappeared. And all my other websites were working, so I don't know.
You know, as women, or just as people, one of our worst fears is to get frozen in a very odd, shot. It was not, yours was not great, Kristyn. You are a very beautiful woman. It was it was as if you're just screaming at us. We were like, calm down, ma'am.
Calm down.
I wish. I wish I could have been yelling instead. The whole StreamYard connection was bye.
All right, now. So I can't even go with Beauty and the Beast because Rudy and I don't want to be the Beast.
I don't want to be the Beast. I feel
Well, no, you would be one of the beauties.
No, I'd be the Beast.
That's not according to our listeners.
You've
Beast
seen
turns
me.
into a handsome prince.
What's that?
Oh.
The Handsome Prince?
Doesn't the Beast turn into a handsome prince after
That's
he falls
true.
in love with Belle?
That is true. Okay. We'll figure it out. In any case, so I've been watching a lot of streaming television lately. There are a couple of things that they recommended for me. We talked briefly about The Diplomat. I'm not sold on that show yet. We've watched 2 episodes. It's okay so far. Not great. Have you seen it?
The Diplomat just got a season 2 pickup.
Did it really?
Yes, it did.
So it must
It's
get
done
better.
Extremely well for Netflix, and the story continues on. You've got to invest in this because I think, especially the first episode of The Diplomat's a little slow, but it's one of those shows. I always say this, like Mad Men, where you have to sort of get the plot point, understand what's happening to get into the action.
So, do you think she could drop the F-bomb a little more? She drops the F-bomb about every other sentence. Well, F you. It's like, settle down, lady. Jesus. Calm
Carrie
down.
Russell is so elegant in person. That's what makes it kind of
Oh, really?
hilarious. Yeah,
She's a hell of a talent. What's the guy's name, her husband? What's his name in real life?
Matthew Rhys.
Is that Matthew
in real
Rhys?
life?
In real life, yeah.
In real life, Matthew Rhys, yeah.
It is Matthew Rhys. He's really good. I think he's terrific in that show. She keeps trying to get rid of him, and he just won't go away, which is pretty funny, actually.
Pretty genius.
Because she wants to get a divorce, and he doesn't.
Well, I think we're going to have to enjoy our streaming for while it lasts. I do think
you're right.
The strike will be, right now I'm hearing 6 weeks is what is expected out of the strike. So, and while that may not seem long and we may not see the content sort of drop off right now, we will feel it later on. And that's the big issue on all of this. And I was so disheartened last night because they actually called it quits on talks at 8 p.m. Pacific time when they had until midnight Pacific time to continue talks. But they were so far apart. There was no coming together on it. And the producers announced it first. They were like, we're basically, there's going to be a strike. We've got nothing. So
you've been through SAG and AFTRA strikes, right? You've been through that. Yeah, me too. You guys all have, I'm assuming. But the only other strike I was ever involved in, I was working as a building these posts along 35W, these concrete posts. They got, rebar inside them, and then they put the panels. That's the sound barriers on 35W and 94 and all that stuff. We're building those, and we went on strike. And apparently I was a little too vocal about being on strike because when we came back, the foreman said, Tom, I got a new job for you. He gave me a bucket of water and an SOS pad and said, would you go out and smooth out the concrete mold? So in other words, they'd put the rebar in there and pour the concrete over it, which would then form a long, probably 30-foot post. They'd bury 10 feet in the ground and 20 feet would stick out over the ground, something like that, right? I should point this out. So I got a bucket of water and an SOS pad. This thing is about 15 feet wide and 100 feet long. And he wanted me to scrub that whole thing with an SOS pad.
Oh, my God.
You think I might have pissed him off somehow? You think that's a
Just a little.
possibility? Henry, I never forget you, Henry, you pill.
But the good news is there is still plenty of good. The good news is there's still plenty of good things to watch on TV. You've got Pete Davidson's Bupkis that is premiering in 2 days, May 4th on Peacock, which I'm really looking forward to. I am one of those I just like buy into the Pete Davidson thing.
Really?
But Joe Pesci, I do. Joe Pesci is in this. He got Joe Pesci out of retirement.
Yep.
I'm in.
That's wonderful.
And it's loosely based off his own sort of Staten Island life. So you've got that. Love and Death. If you're not watching that, that's the Candy Montgomery story. It's the new Candy Montgomery story because Jessica Biel did the Candy story last year on Hulu. This one's on HBO with Elizabeth Olsen and Jesse Plemons, and it is so well acted, much better than the one that was on Hulu last year. And if you didn't see Air is finally coming to streaming on May 12th. So you can finally see Ben Affleck and Matt Damon back together doing the Nike story.
Oh, that's right. That's the Nike story. Is it that didn't do well in theaters, did it?
It didn't do great, but it didn't do horrible. And this really was Amazon's first major foray into doing like, hey, we're going to actually do an exclusive theatrical launch first. So I think marketing wise, they're going to sort of try and get the hang of it. But it's still going to draw tons of eyeballs. And I think on the flip side, we will see kind of more mentions of it in the fall once we start back into award show season, because they're definitely going to try and get Ben Affleck a writing and directing Oscar nomination, of course.
Got to be honest with you, I really wish City on a Hill would have continued, because that was Affleck and Damon that produced it. I think they wrote it. Did they write it too, or did they just produce it?
They just produced it.
Okay, so they didn't
We won't
write
see
it.
a lot with them, though, because they have their new Artist Equity production company, and they've got a lot coming down the pike. So, I mean, obviously strike pending, but other than that, they will be producing a lot of projects together. And I think that they're really good together. To me, Ben Affleck, he's a good actor, but he's a fantastic director. I really think he's got a good eye behind the camera. And Matt Damon's always good in whatever he does on screen.
Isn't that what an amazing story those two are?
It really is. They've known each other since high school, and they've got a lot of good stories of how they would earn money doing local commercials, and they created a bank. They had a bank account together so that they could have money to like go to New York and sometimes audition for the bigger roles. And they would share that money, which is really kind of sweet. So you just see how far back their friendship goes.
Yeah, they both grew up in Boston, right?
They are Boston heroes. Let me tell
Your
you.
buddies.
You only have to say Matt and Ben in Boston, never knows exactly who you're talking about. and of course, Ben Affleck's love for Dunkin' Donuts. We know that. I mean, they finally hired him and J-Lo to do commercials this year, which is unbelievable.
For people who've never been to Boston, there is a Dunkin' Donuts on every corner in Boston. And I'm not making that up.
Yeah.
Every corner has a Dunkin' Donuts.
Nobody does better coffee. Nobody does better hot chocolate, by the way.
Okay.
Like whipped, frothy deliciousness. And Munchkins, which are their donut holes, are the best.
I'm going to be honest with you. That's one of the things I love about America, because we literally live in like 48 different countries on the same, we obviously got Alaska and Hawaii too, but 48 different countries on one piece of land, because you can't compare Boston or New York or Philadelphia. They're their own entities, their own cities. And I love that, actually, to tell you the truth. I just love that.
Yeah, everything has its own culture. I mean, I've lived in New York, Boston, Los Angeles, Minneapolis, and nothing. And you think you have it down. Like, I thought when I moved to New York, spent years there, came to Los Angeles, I'm like, oh, I've got the big city thing down. Oh, no, I did not.
No.
It was whatever. If it was black in New York, it was white in Los Angeles. Like, complete 180 on how things are done. And that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, no question about it. Every city in America I've liked every city in America I've ever been in, except for one, and I won't say which one it is, because they should have probably given it a better chance. But the quirkiness and the differences from city to city to city, like I said, all up and down the West Coast, all up and down the Mississippi River, all up and down the East Coast, they're all cities in America, but they're all completely different. And I think that's a wonderful experience. I really do. It's like, I suppose, growing up in Europe, all those different countries.
Absolutely. And I think it's interesting, too, when you go and visit a new city, whether it's international or domestic, you get a feel for a city, especially if you spend some time there and do what the locals do. And you're like, this is my city. This is not my city. Like, I go to New Orleans and I'm like, I feel so comfortable there. I love it there. And then I went to, when I was in Europe, people are like, you're going to love Barcelona. And I liked Barcelona, but it was so hyped for me.
Oh, really?
And then I went to Vienna, which everyone was like, oh, it's a nice city. I was like, oh my gosh, this is home.
Right.
So it's just funny how your personality just vibes with the people and the culture of a specific city.
Yeah, you know my favorite place to go? I'm not kidding. Switzerland. And you know why I love Switzerland? Either you follow the rules or get the hell out of the country. I love that about Switzerland. Like,
There's
we got
no
our rules.
gray area.
No, there's no gray area in Switzerland. You follow the rules or get the hell out. I love that about Switzerland, you know, and it's a beautiful
My
country.
mad dated a Swiss-German man.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
You learn to speak the language.
And from, like, born and raised there. He's actually back there now. We had a lot of fun with him. Because it was just very black and white. Gray.
Have you ever got a chance to visit Switzerland?
Switzerland's one of the few countries I've not been to in Europe.
God,
so.
Luzerne, Lake Luzerne, forget it. Unbelievably beautiful. And the people are very, very pleasant, unless you're causing a problem. Then they're not pleasant at all. It's, again, get the hell out of the country. I love that.
Barnard morning show field trip. Let's do it.
Oh, let's go to Switzerland. We should go to. We'll do it from a boat on Lake Luzerne. One of the most beautiful places on earth.
That would be amazing. And here I am. I'm trying to convince Brittany to go to Vegas with me to BravoCon.
Oh, are you gonna go?
I'm working on it, and it's so funny. I was like, you know, doing that thing you do with your significant other. I was like, it's so crazy. I was like, Kristyn's so great. She's so nice. She like did this thing. She like invited me to come to BravoCon. I mean, just a quick flight to Vegas. She even said I could bring Go-Go, and we were like, he's like, well, it wouldn't be that bad if you were just gone for a couple days, and of course, wouldn't bring Go-Go. But like, I did that thing where I was kind of like testing the water, like, what if I just went? He's like, what if you just went? I was like, ooh.
You should just go. We should go.
You should go.
So
Planted.
much fun.
Call in
we would
reports.
have a blast. I wouldn't get you into inappropriate trouble. Your husband can trust me.
I mean, can you
like
trust
that.
me though? I mean, once I do
Probably
the worm
not.
on the
That's fine.
once I do the worm on the dance floor, it's like, who doesn't want to get with me?
That's
You know?
okay.
The worm.
Yeah, we would have a lot of fun. And I was like, let's do it.
Okay, so you guys are going where? Where is this you're going?
Vegas.
Oh, it's in Vegas. Okay. So you're gonna go to Vegas, and then we'll go to Switzerland.
Okay.
After that, and do a show from Lake Luzerne on a boat. That'll be wonderful.
This all sounds
Then they'll tell us to get the hell out.
Brittany meets me in person before you do, Tom.
Yeah, unbelievable. I've never met her in person, and now Brittany gets to meet her first anyway.
You have a job, okay? You need to stay here and.
Oh, okay.
I'll send Shannon, my friend. She'll come and work for me.
Shannon's
But you
wonderful.
have to. It's Tom Barnard Show, okay?
So
We can actually, guess what? StreamYard in from Vegas together.
I'm not working.
So, I can't take life anymore. I really can't take life anymore.
It's a business expense, and you can write it off.
I'll
once
be in
you're
the
working.
background of your show. I'll just be dancing in my pajamas, and then I'll go back to bed. Not gonna work.
Knock on the connecting rooms. Hello.
Kristyn, heads up. I don't even work when I'm here, so why would I work in Vegas?
There is that.
Rudy, don't agree so wholeheartedly.
No, he's
over
right,
there.
though. He's
He was
right.
going.
You're
Rudy's
lame.
the guy with he's got all the hard work. He's
I know.
sweating back there.
I know. Rudy does all the things.
All right. What else? Anything? Okay. So I still have not seen John Wick Part 4. Is it John Wick?
John Wick and the 100 bodies that all disappear.
Yes, exactly. I still haven't seen it. It's 3 hours. I want to see it. I liked was it the second one or the third one that was lame? One of them was terrible. I can't remember which one though. It was either second or third.
I was like, they were both okay, but yeah.
Yeah.
The fourth one is good though. I mean, and here's the thing: if you stream it at home, you can take those breaks that you need. Watch the first hour and a half, take a break, come back to watch the second half.
Is it streaming now?
I don't know if we're 45 days away. I mean, you can probably buy it on video on demand, but I don't think it's on. I haven't heard of that yet.
Yeah, I got to figure it out because I do like him a lot. I think he's terrific. Such a nice man. Had a band called Dog Star, and the Chucker used to go after him all the time about Dog Star. And he had a sense of humor about it. It was wonderful. Just a really, really nice guy. So,
John Wick 4, oh gosh, it's going to be a while. So
what?
John Wick 4 would start streaming on the service in 2024. So Peacock, fall 2024. That's a long time.
A year and a half?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Weird.
What? That can't be right.
I know. I'm like,
A
that doesn't
year
make
and a
any
half?
sense. It's currently not on streaming. It's still available in cinemas exclusively now.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Everyone's saying 2024. That seems so late. That
Boy.
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. I guess I'll have to wait it out. But
You can pre-order the movie on Amazon Prime for $19.99. And you can order the Blu-ray and DVD sets for the movie.
DVD? I actually still have a DVD player, though. I didn't even know I had it.
I do have a Blu-ray player, but
Yeah, me too.
yeah, hey, you can for $19.99 you can pre-order the movie. I wonder when Amazon Prime is saying it's coming. That's a good question.
It can't be 2024. It's got to be a misprint.
I don't think so, because there's several articles saying that it's going to wind up
Really?
on Peacock in 2024, but is it going to wind up on Amazon ahead of that? That's the big
absolutely.
question. There's probably, because it's Lionsgate and Universal, so when there's joint distribution, sometimes there's a deal of like who gets it first. So
There you have. Look, we kept you around for like a half an hour. That was amazing.
well, I don't know. I zapped out for a bit.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
hung around through a commercial break, and you know how it is. But oh, and one other thing that's coming: Only Murders in the Building season 3 is coming August 8th. So if you haven't watched season 1 and 2, and there's a strike, now's the time to catch up on season 1 and 2 on Hulu. It's a great show. Steve Martin Short,
And there is
Selena
good.
Gomez, with the weirdest comedy trio, but
Yeah.
somehow it works. It's amazing.
You said there is a season 3,
Season 3 drops August 8th.
August 8th. Okay, because
August 8th. Meryl Streep's in it. Paul Rudd's in it this season. It's going to be really good.
Steve Martin's announced he's done. After that's done, he's not going to do anything anymore. He's going to retire.
Well, this going out on a high, like Only Murders in the Building, is a good way to do it.
Yeah, I suppose. But we were just talking about him earlier this morning. Really, really good stand-up. A very nice. He's been on the show a billion times. Just a really, really nice man. Just the kind of guy you wish a lot of success to, and he's been very successful. He's just a great guy, right?
I love his story of like where he started off in the magic shop on Main
Yeah.
Street at Disneyland as a
Yep.
teen. People tell that story all the time. I think people think like, oh, I could start and work at Disney and then I become Steve Martin. It's that easy.
All right, now if we're going to cut off your camera so I can take my sunglasses off because of your radiant beauty, that all our listeners keep bringing up.
Or my shiny face.
Your shiny face. You do have a shiny face. Why is your face so
do.
shiny?
It's dewy. It's my makeup, but I was like, the shiny look is in. It's actually not like grease. It's done purposely. See? Every
Yeah,
angle.
it's beautiful.
I still love the fact that until a year ago, after 11 years of working with her, the first time I ever saw her move was on this show. It's always been still pictures.
No, it's usually just my stupid headshot.
It's a headshot. That's exactly right. But it's magnificent. All right, young lady, have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
No, you will talk to me at.
Oh, that's right.
noon
Today,
on
Tuesday. That's
Getting
right.
too much of me. And then the rest of you, I'll see you tomorrow morning.
Sounds good. Thank
Bye,
you.
Kristen.
guys.
Kristyn Burtt, ladies and gentlemen. That's another one of those deals, man. Just how lucky we got with this. Literally, it was only one person that didn't come over that we wanted to come over, and he's retiring, so I guess I couldn't blame him. Ratings are plummeting, but
Couldn't blame
I
him.
had to get a shot in
Except
there.
you do.
yeah, except
And-
I do. It's true.
All hard feelings.
But no, I just it's a hell of a squad, don't you think?
Yeah, I can't believe. Yeah, this show flies by because we have so many fun people on it.
Well, that's the other thing. By the time, literally, right now, 23 minutes now, the show's half over.
Yeah.
Does it seem like should be half over almost?
Cooks. Yeah.
Rudy's looking at me like, yes, it seems like it's dragging to me.
not at all.
Once Ted Lasso ends, I think I'm going to take my Apple TV subscription and do Hulu because I officially have 3 shows I want to watch on Hulu. I have never seen Murderers in the Building, Dave, that Rudy brought up yesterday, and then I want to watch Yellow Jackets real bad. So I think that's my next big move.
Yellow Jackets is not great.
I know you don't like it, but I've heard from a lot of people they like it.
Not great, I say.
I know.
I started Beef last night. You guys seen this?
Oh, no, I saw the preview for it. Is that good?
Ali Wong. I watched the first episode and a half. Yeah, really good. It's the concept of it is kind of crazy. It's a little far-fetched a little bit here and there, but if you can kind of get past that and just remember that it's just a television show, then there's some really good stuff in it.
How many episodes? Because the reviews I've heard from it is it should have been, there doesn't need to be that many episodes.
It's 10.
Yeah.
Feels like a lot.
Feels like a lot for the situation. Because tell them the premise.
Yeah, so basically there's this altercation that happens right away in the first episode with these two people that are driving. There's a little bit of road rage. And then from there on out, it's them trying to one-up the other to get back at the other person for this incident. Yeah.
Right.
So, and of course, there's things on the line. The stakes are high because somebody is selling their company and another one is super broke. So you never really know who's going to be winning in the situation. Really good. It's just, And also, television shows are shot, I don't know, maybe it's just my eyes and my age, but aren't television shows shot so dark nowadays?
They are.
It's like you can't see, it's too many shadows. Like, I'm like, could you just expose this? Just bring the f-stop down a little bit, everybody. I got to see what's going on.
No, I understand that. What the hell's going on? Why is this lit up?
I'll fix it during the break. I don't know what happened
wrong
to your
with
computer. I don't know.
No, don't tell me you did it, didn't you?
You always say that.
I can't even get it to turn off. There it finally did. All right, we can schmooze now, and then I'll turn it back on in a second. I don't know. It's not too hot or anything. It's not overheating or anything like that. So we shall see. I want to go to a movie, but see, the problem is I love going to movies. Got to go to movie theaters. You get your popcorn. You go sit down. You eat. It's wonderful and all the rest of it. But these 3-hour movies, man, 3 hours. Because don't you have like 20 minutes of previews?
Yeah. And I don't understand why they're making them because haven't we been told everything, especially with social media, that our attention span is no longer than 17 seconds anymore?
It's very short. I know that.
So why are they giving us 3-hour movies when nobody wants to? Even like bands I love to go see, like Aerosmith just announced that they are going to be calling it a career. And the last time I saw Aerosmith, it was 3 hours and 12 minutes. At hour number 2, I was like, okay, Steve, you can wrap this up anytime, man. I'm good. Don't get me wrong. I love you guys, but please, I'm ready to go home. Beers are, $13 a pop.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
that is amazing.
I'm ready to call it a day.
So Taylor Swift's new concert is 4 hours long, and I think there's like two bands I think it would be her or Beyonce that I would be fine with listening to 4 hours of their music. But
4 hours?
I have no problem with it because she has 4 albums that have come out since she's been able to tour. So we all want to hear all of the songs, and I really do.
So when the Beatles get back together, we'll be there for like 28 hours?
Yes. Yeah, I would.
What you're saying?
Don't hold your breath on that one.
That might be a while for that one. You're right. For some reason, my computer just completely shut down, and I had to restart it. So I'm assuming it'll work now.
So is Aerosmith, they're doing a tour then?
Don't be so concerned about my computer.
Well, I'm sorry. That's not as intriguing to me as this Aerosmith thing.
I'm in agony over here.
You'll be fine.
You're a disaster.
They're doing a goodbye tour then, I'm guessing?
The farewell tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
And
40 dates, I think?
I think something like that, yeah.
I think it's 40 dates.
40, yeah, because it's the 50th anniversary, 40 dates. Monday, November 13th, they're going to be playing the XL Energy Center.
Oh, okay. Are you going to try to go?
Yeah.
They missed my birthday by 6 days.
How dare they?
Not fair.
Or maybe they wanted to make sure they were free on that day.
Yes, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Are you going to try to go, Rudy?
Nah.
No.
I'm good.
Because you already went.
I've seen them. They were great. The last time I saw them, they destroyed. And the first time I saw them was on the 9 Lives tour with 7 Mary 3. I don't know if you guys remember that band, but loved them. And saw them again after that at the XL Energy Center, and I was like, I'm good. Yeah. Because I've done it before where I've gone and seen bands at the end of their career, and the show sucks, and I'm like, that's the lasting legacy that I have with this band now, and I don't want to do it. So, plus, I'm paying for my daughter to go to Taylor Swift. We did Disney this year.
I forgot she's going to Taylor Swift. That's a new thing.
Yeah. About $10,000.
It was expensive. That show better be 4 hours. Trust me, it better be for how much we're paying.
She Friday or Saturday?
Friday night.
Me too.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
You're going to that. Why don't you grow up?
I will not.
Jesus, pal.
I'm debating, should I take the day off? Should I not? It's a
Should
Friday.
I take the day off?
Like,
Jesus.
I'm trying to figure out the outfit. I am so excited. I think I'm going to get some, like, pink high tops. And, I'm so excited.
Have you seen her?
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw her Reputation tour, the last one, and she was so great. She was great. And the only thing I'm doing right now is trying to avoid, they keep doing live streams of her, people on her while going to her concert. It'll pop up on my TikTok every time she has a concert. I've just been trying to avoid that because I want to experience it in person. And my tickets weren't that, they were expensive for tickets, but they weren't that bad. The hardest part was getting them.
Mm-hmm. Liar.
And, that was, did you get back on?
I'm coming. I'm trying right now.
There you are.
So to add to stream? Okay, it did it. Okay, good.
I got you. Yep.
Yeah, my computer just fell apart here. I don't know what the hell that's all about.
Mercury's in retrograde. First Kristyn Burtt, and now your computer. And
See?
Brittany forgot her computer today, so...
You did?
What?
What? What are you talking about?
Justin was laughing. He watched the clip that you put together yesterday, and he was like, were you flicking Rudy off in that clip? And I was like, I don't know why, but I was.
Yeah, it does look. I went back and I looked at it. I was like, "Is she?" But then I left it in there because I
I'm
thought,
fine with it. Yeah,
totally.
but it's so funny because how many times, if you ever watch the stream, I look at Rudy just pissed and mouth things. It's a lot. But thanks for telling on me, Rudy.
You're welcome. Yeah.
What?
What?
What are you talking about?
I wasn't prepared. I was prepared for work today.
You were not prepared for work today. You dropped the ball yet again.
Somebody claims that they think that their ghost of their brother is ruining our show today.
What's wrong with the show today?
No, he says he's haunting our show and like.
Oh, you mean with
messing.
the stuff shutting down and
Yeah,
all that?
Joe thinks that.
So that there's a ghost?
Yeah, and I said he's welcomed here.
I have a question for you on that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're a ghost,
Yeah,
why would you be a ghost in a building that's empty about 18 hours a day?
it'd be super lame.
That'd be lame. You can't, you wander halls that nobody's in. Who cares?
But maybe you're like me and you love sleep, and so that's a chill place to be.
Sleepy. Do ghosts need sleep, do they?
I don't know. I hope when I die, I get to sleep a bunch. And they always say in the military, you'll sleep when you're dead. So
That's
were they
true.
lying to me?
Yes. Yes, they were.
I'm sure they were.
I don't think there's any question about it.
That's true.
If you know what I'm saying. No, I think that's magnificent that you have goals in life.
Sleep. I hate you. You're such an a-hole.
I'm trying to congratulate you on your choices.
The narrative, because I love sleep, is I'm lazy, and I'm fine with that. And just because some of us don't have 3 to 4 jobs.
I got to stop, too. I got to fold up the tent one of these days because it's really, like yesterday, I was so tired that I literally missed a pothole and almost broke my leg. Look how swollen my wrist
I know,
is.
you fell. It's so
I
bad.
heard you talking about that.
Really swollen up.
That's really bad.
It's
You should
really
get that
swollen.
checked, but of course you won't.
What if I get a hook?
Oh, I'd love that.
A hook for a left hand. You better pay attention to me there, matey.
It'd be
What do you think?
if we start leaning into that and we commit to having a parrot in studio,
I'll get a parrot, absolutely.
but like a big one, like one of those caws or whatever, those like ones that like, yeah, I would love that.
All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break. We're going to
Yeah.
be right back in a couple of minutes. And one of the supreme talents of all time is going to join us right after this.
Kristyn's coming back?
Yeah, Kristyn's coming. Oh, I don't think he can hear us. Thank you.
Oh, I got it. Yep.
I guess he can hear us. I guess. You're number one. You're number one. All right, we'll take a break. Be right back. Chris Egert from Channel 5 Eyewitness News joins us right after this.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Listen live at tombernardshow.com or on the Tom Barnard Show app.
What can Hubbard Interactive do for your business? Let's take a listen and find out what they did for one local company, Steve the Window Guy.
I'm Sally, and I'm a digital brand strategist here at Hubbard Interactive. We met with Melissa from Steve the Window Guy, and she was looking for help with their video advertising strategy. So we helped build a comprehensive plan for streaming TV and YouTube ads.
And Melissa, tell us how it's been getting your message out with help from Hubbard Interactive.
I've been working with them for 5 years, and what I've learned is that they have both the experience and the depth inside their team to help me solve any creative marketing challenge that I've got. So over the years, I've moved from radio ads to streaming TV to YouTube ads, and now we're moving towards SEO. And I'm loving the results that I'm seeing.
Is there anything else you want business owners out there to know about Hubbard Interactive?
I am so grateful for the entire team at Hubbard Interactive for effortlessly understanding our business and our marketing vision, and then always delivering only the best results.
To find out how our experts can help your business grow, get in touch today at hubbardinteractive.com.
We We are back, ladies and gentlemen. The lovely and talented Chris Egert now joins us, no doubt about it. You ever been called lovely before?
No, not generally. It's not. And no, I haven't.
Try to come up with an explanation. No, I have not.
I can't come up with a flowery way to deflect that. No, I have not.
You're fine. Everything is good. Everything's wonderful. I haven't checked my watch in a while. Has the government defaulted yet?
No.
Any minute now?
June 1st. That's where things are going to, that's the deadline. And we're no closer to a deal right now than we were, yesterday.
But they're going to do a deal, right? They're not going to let the economy fall apart.
They always do seem to come up with something at the 11th hour.
Yep.
But yeah, you wouldn't think, given how fragile the economy is at this moment, that. But as it is right now, there's lots of saber rattling, and everyone's got to get their points made before anything gets ironed out. So.
I guess I don't know why everybody has to be so damn difficult. Explain it to me, will you?
I don't have an answer to that either. I wish I did.
The only thing about that, and again, this is economy. It's not politics. It sounds like, I suppose, politics are involved in the economy, obviously at several different levels. But I mean, the problem I have with this is they've been telling us how wonderful everything is for months. And then all of a sudden, no, actually, we might go under. It's like, well, that's what other people have been saying for months. And you told us everything was fine. So you better get this done by the end of the month.
Yeah, and that people are kind of saying the same thing about another bank was taken over, and yet everyone said, no, it's fine, everything's fine, everything's gonna be fine. I don't know, kind of hard to believe that when things like this happen. But
I would agree. So everything else going well in the news world? Any big stories?
Well, I've got a lot of things for you guys today, but I wanted to point out. To Brittany and Rudy too, that Phil, Mackie, and Judd are both like 5 feet away from me right now, in the same place.
It's a disaster.
Get a pic and an autograph.
I was gonna get a pic, but I had to run in here, and then I went out there, and it looks like a meeting.
Oh, they having a meeting?
Yeah.
You don't want to go in there.
Yeah,
Shoulder to the wheel.
I think I saw Amy over there. Looks like a meeting.
A lot of meetings going on. We're having a meeting today.
Are you?
I guess so.
Good meeting, bad meeting. Is there such thing as a good meeting?
The great thing about my life, no matter how meetings turn out, I couldn't give a damn less. I get a raise or I get fired. Who cares? Whatever. I'll move on to the next thing. Right? I've been fired a lot, man. I get fired a lot.
Yeah.
Because I'm so pleasant.
I can't think of too many meetings. Maybe, Brittany, you've got examples where the meeting you get called in and it's like, oh, wow, what a great meeting. Oh, my God, I'm getting a 50% pay increase?
Really?
Wow, this was a great meeting.
Or you go, that was so productive. We got a lot done. Like, that never happens either. I've never been fired in a group setting, though. So it would be funny if we had a meeting for Amy to fire me in front of both you guys.
What
like,
a great
how weird
idea.
would that be?
You know who's out of here?
I would like to be in on that meeting. I'd be very sad though, but I would like to. I would like to.
What?
Let me explain myself.
No.
I love this.
I feel like there is. Are you fighting? Like, what is going on?
No,
Are we fighting?
No, you're not understanding what I'm saying. I'm saying, I would like to think that I was important enough to be called into a meeting of that level. But I would not want you to be fired. Does that make sense?
I don't know. I don't know how to feel right now. All I know is that you have daydreams of a scenario where you three men watch me cry in front of Amy. Okay.
That's happened to me before.
Everyone's into different things. That's fine. If that's your thing.
You're putting words in my mouth. That's not at all what was said.
Yeah, way to go.
Yeah.
I, many years ago.
I thought you're the glue. Sorry, Tom.
Yeah, exactly. Many years ago, I was working with a guy, and he's a very nice guy, and we had to meet. Nobody was telling us what the meeting was all about, right? So we got to meet the morning show and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, whatever, good. Hopefully they're going to fire me, thank God. They didn't ever, but they did fire another guy in the meeting, and none of us knew he was going to get fired. They didn't tell one person that they were going to fire him.
In front of you guys?
Yep.
They fire? I don't. Why?
Right in front of us. Now, here's the sad part. It's not a bad thing, not a good thing. Well, I suppose it is a good thing. The guy who got fired came over to say goodbye to me, and I said, "Well, that's not. You don't say goodbye. We're not going to work together anymore, but I'll see you plenty." He started weeping openly, and I had to hold him like a little child. It was really sad.
That's terrible.
Well, you know the guy too, but I was holding him like he's bawling. He's like his shoulders are bouncing up and down. He's crying so hard. He thought he was going to be around forever, I guess, but none of us knew he was going to get fired. They gave us no indication he was going to be fired. But holding a grown man while he weeps so openly over a job, it's hard to do, man.
Oh, my God.
How long ago was that, Tom?
Oh, God, 15 years. When did you, because you weren't there.
I don't know, but every time I quit, I would quit with the boss, and then you would call me like a couple hours later going, why wouldn't you tell me you're quitting?
Yeah, why didn't you?
And I was like, how would I even casually be like, hey, a heads up, I'm quitting today? Like,
casually, you hang out with my family constantly. I can't get rid of you, for Christ's sake.
I know, but
and now
I would always get a call from you angry that you didn't know first. And I was like,
Yeah,
I think
way
it's
to
like
go.
a fun surprise.
that I'm quitting.
I'm quitting.
Okay, well, then,
A guy
whatever.
openly weeping, man, that's
He was really
rough.
weeping, too.
I'd cry. If one of you guys, like, if somebody was crying like that, I'd cry too. I would cry as well.
Well, that's why you can't, I don't think they can fire somebody like that anymore.
Probably not.
That's why,
Probably
I mean,
not.
it's been a while, but yeah, I think it's a whole thing now. Like, you kind of know when you get the call, like, could you, Chris, could you step up to HR after the show today? And then you're like, oh, well, you know something's up, right? Or like your boss is waiting outside the studio door with a cardboard box, and they're like, hey, Chris, would you mind stepping up to HR for a little bit? That's kind of how it goes down, isn't it?
Yeah.
God, do you guys remember Scotty Davis from KDWB?
No.
He was
Heard the name.
afternoon guy there for a long time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, great guy. Him and I met at the state fair, but then when I got fired at 93X, I was going through the worst time of my life. Like my ex and I were on the outs. Like, she was going to be moving out soon. My daughter's mom, I was getting divorced. Then I got fired, and I called him and I was crying, and he was like, "Are you crying right now? Are you really? Are you going to call me and cry? Call me when you're done crying." And then, like, hung up on me. And I was like, you're supposed to be my friend. Like, I can't even believe this is happening right now. But yes, so listen, I've been in that scenario where you are at the bottom of the barrel, and even people in this business are still like, I don't have time for you. Listen, dry your tears and then call me back.
My sister is like that. She is so uncomfortable when I cry, and I am like such a vampire of like, I love when people are vulnerable. So you can call me and cry anytime, because I'll just cry on the phone with you. But my sister's always like, okay, can we do this later?
Yeah.
You know, like, or well, did you see Nordstrom's having a sale soon? Like, she's trying to like flip it. I'm like, no, we need to just cry.
Why don't you invite me? I love watching other people cry.
You do not. You are such a baby.
What?
I remember
I'm tough as they get.
during my breakup, I was like, I'm not going to say anything to anyone. And you just happened to be in studio that day. And I walked in and I saw you and I started crying. And you're like, what? Oh, my God. What? Like, ah! I was like, oh, my God.
Uncle Tommy does get very protective.
You
You're
get
right about
nuts.
that.
Where I was like,
it's true.
And you were like, like, should we fight someone? Like, no.
It's one of my favorite Christopher Walken lines of all time. I will do some damage you won't walk away from. I love that line. Shut up, or I am going to stab you.
That's a pretty good Christopher Walken.
He's pretty good at that.
He, my God, what a talent that man is. There's no doubt about that. Great talent. But, we just had, who the hell were we talking to about him a couple of weeks ago? Who the hell? We were talking about Christopher Walken to somebody a couple of weeks ago, but I can't remember who it was. It doesn't matter. But in any case, the only time I've ever cried after being fired, there were tears of joy. So, that's a good thing. Oh, finally I get out of this shithole. But anyway, moving forward.
I had a boss take me out to lunch, and it was like some crappy place. This was in Omaha, like crappy place, like right next, like 2 blocks away from the TV station. And I knew something was up because, the boss doesn't ask you to go out to lunch instead. And he's like, blah, blah, blah. We've decided to take you off the anchor desk, and we're going to put you in the field Monday through Friday for the 10 o'clock. So you'll be like our primary reporter. And it'll be, it'll be top story with Chris Egert every time. And then he goes, I think you'll be able to get some pretty good material to put together a tape for your next job. And I looked right at him and I go, I already have a really good tape. I don't need that.
There you go.
And,
goodbye.
Oh my God.
Good for you.
The meal.
Yeah.
Why would anybody, I don't understand that, for a breakup or a firing, don't make me sit through a meal.
I know.
Don't.
And then let's sit here and eat this shitty sub for the next.
Yeah.
It was like one of those places that like serves hot subs. So like, that was cool. Well, I'll just sit here and enjoy this meatball sub now for the next 20 minutes while we stare uncomfortably at each other. And yeah.
Well, where were you like 7 years ago, Brittany, before you could have given me that advice about breaking up with somebody in a restaurant?
Yeah, Brittany.
I would have loved to give you that's the meanest thing ever, because either what you act like everything's fine throughout the meal, and then you find out like later that it was not, they're waiting to break up with you, and so then you look back at that meal and go, what the hell? Or you do it before, and like Chris said, you have to like pretend to eat food. Did you break up with somebody during?
Yeah.
And?
Well, because I said I didn't want to do it at my house because I didn't want her to stick around. I didn't want to do it at her house and then leave her there. So Des from KS95 is like, do it at a restaurant. That way it's not going to be weird. Like, you guys will be okay, and then you guys can go your separate ways. I was like, that's a great idea. So I took her to the Lowbrow on Nicollet Avenue.
No.
And I broke up with her, and it turned into a thing. She freaked out. In fact, at some point, the hostess walked by, and she was like, is everything okay? I'm like, we're breaking up. And she goes, oh, we all know.
Okay.
We know you're breaking up.
I have so many questions. First off, did you do it before the meal?
No. We can talk about this after. I'll give you all the details.
No, I don't want to know like every minute detail, but like, so you did it after the meal.
Well, she was already at the restaurant and had ordered, because we went there quite a bit, so she ordered exactly what she thought it'd be nice, and she was like, well, I ordered because I already knew what you were going to get. And I love
that.
This is going to suck.
But that's terrible.
Yeah, so then, of course, in the middle of the breakup, they bring our food, and then we sat there and stared at it, and then at the end of the meal, when she got up and left, I looked at the waiter, and I was like, can we box all this up? And then I took it over to my brother-in-law's house, and we ate it.
Controversial opinion here. I think, depending on, unless you're living together or it's like a very intense relationship, I think breakups over the phone are ideal. I just think that unless you have like you're literally living with the person, there's a super serious relationship. But like, honestly, the breakup, I want to be alone. Like, after, I'm not going to try to beg for you to stay on whatever. I'm not going to whatever. I just want to be like, okay. And then, like, if you need to talk later, maybe, like, to get some closure, if that's a real thing, I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. But, like, I don't want to be around you.
Sure.
God, Tommy, have you ever had a breakup like that?
A breakup with a woman?
Yeah.
Well, I've been with Catherine for 42 years, so it's been a while. But yes, it was mostly, oh, Tom, it's not you, it's me. I used to hear that one all the time. Oh, it's not you, it's me. I just don't fit in. And now I've been very lucky with the women I've dated. There've been a couple, not that big a deal. No, I never had some serious. Well, no, I did. I had one, actually. I was living with a woman in Jacksonville, Florida, when I was down there. It's a very pretty young woman, very nice young woman. Except for I woke up one morning and walked down the stairs, and at the bottom of my stairs was my suitcase. I'm like, oh, what? Why is my suitcase at the bottom? Well, because it'd be easy for you to take it up the stairs and pack your stuff. I'm like, oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know what her deal was, but what I always do basically now is I just every year on her birthday and Christmas, I send her a copy of the latest ratings of my shows and go, you could have been here.
Yeah.
You could have been a part of this, but no.
Look how well I'm doing,
and boy,
ma'am.
Look at the picture of my wife, Catherine. I'm suffering through that one too, aren't I?
You're such a liar.
I literally, I didn't have much of that going on. Yeah. What?
How about you, Chris? What's your hard breakup story?
Well, I was going to ask you guys if breaking up by text would be appropriate.
No.
Yes. Get away from me, you.
Rudy's like, yes. Tom's yes. Yep. I'm yes. And Brittany's no.
Well, okay. If you're like one or two dates and you guys haven't defined the relationship, if you haven't had that talk, a text is totally appropriate. But if you've like define like you are boyfriend and girlfriend. No, you can't break up via text.
Yeah, probably not. Now, I do have to ask you a question, not about breaking up, because I've only broken up a couple of times, I guess. Not that big. Only one, I took one, really. That one, the woman I lived with in Jacksonville, I did take that kind of hard, because she was a very nice person, and I just moved back to Minneapolis. I was just like, whatever. I'm not going to hang around your filthy town. Forget it. No, I love Jacksonville, actually. It was fun. You had to know which parts to go to and the parts not to go to, but, you know. But something popped into my head while you guys were talking about this. Now, not from the queue. I just said, we agreed that I would leave. But the 3 previous times that I've been fired, and it goes back a long, long way, 37, 38 years, right? I forgot all about this, but looking back, because I was at KQ for 37 years. I haven't been fired a long time. But the last 3 before going to KQ, and maybe I should have gotten the gist of it all when I walked into the GM's office and there was a police officer in there.
Oh.
They had an armed guy. Do I seem like the kind of guy's going to go off the deep end and just like throttle you or something? Do I have that kind of attitude, do you think? What are you looking around about, sister?
Okay.
I don't think you would resort to violence over something like that,
No.
but I could.
I might, though.
Chris said think, though. Like, he's not saying he knows.
So
Well, I
you
know
think
Tommy's a badass. Like, don't get me wrong, but I don't.
badass.
I think that there's a level of decorum that, you're really gonna like try to deck your boss. 9 times out of 10, you're probably like relieved. You're like, good, thank God.
True.
If the fact that since I know you and you wouldn't want to throw away anything for that, I know you wouldn't, but I could see how people would perceive you as, oh, he's gonna freak out.
But Sonny Barger, no longer with us, the head of the Hells Angels, said, everybody thinks they're a tough guy until they meet a tough guy. And he's right about that.
Very
You
true.
think anybody in this room's tough, you should meet a tough guy, because none of us come even close to that. I mean, have you ever known a real tough guy? Not, like, seriously?
I was friends with this biker guy out in Rapid City when I worked out there. Dude was like Hell's Angels, and he was one of our engineers at the TV station.
What?
Guy looked like Slash. So except his arms were like as big around as like a grown man's thigh. Like the guy was just huge. And he looked, I mean, you saw this dude, you'd like cross the street because he was a scary mofo.
Oh, yeah.
But we would go out drinking all the time after work, and I freaking loved him. It was so fun going to the bars with him.
I would imagine.
Yeah, because you're like this pretty boy, and you've got this like BFF rough guy with you. I could see you loving hanging with him.
Yeah, like one time I was his bitch. He gave me a ride home after the bar.
I was his bitch. Okay.
Okay, I would pay to see that. I wish somebody got a video or a pic.
I do think about that. That must have been quite a sight.
Yeah, no, Chris sat on the gas tank and it was crisscross applesauce on the drive. So.
Sure. The breakups. The breakups, ladies and gentlemen.
So when he broke up with you, were you heartbroken?
God. See, she had to get it in there, didn't she?
I texted it. I broke up via text with him.
With him.
Good call. Good call.
Wanted to make sure I was out of state so he couldn't come and kill me right away.
Oh, God, some great memories. No doubt about it. Some great memories. No, it's kind of nice that I've been with Catherine for 42 years now, because I haven't had to deal with any of that stuff. No, I mean, she gets sick of me, don't get me wrong. It's like, why don't you go do something for like a week or two and then come back?
Uh-oh, I feel like you have a text coming soon from Catherine.
You think I'll be getting a text from Catherine any minute now?
It's not me, it's you.
Yes. It's not me, it's you, Tom. Get out and don't ever come back.
All right, I got 2 stories for you guys. You guys get to pick your story that you want to hear before I go. So I mean, don't get me wrong. We already talked about the bank collapse, the debt ceiling. There's a new coronavirus variant. And what else? That doesn't matter. You get to choose between these 2.
Okay.
Dogs getting high or perineum tanning.
Perineum tanning.
I want dogs getting high.
Sure.
Okay, good. That's what
Okay.
we'll have.
Well, just for the record, you can look it up. Be careful not to do it on a work computer, but perineum tanning is a thing now because they're doing it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Isn't that your taint?
Yeah.
Yes.
Why would you want to do that?
Apparently, there's all kinds of health benefits, but I digress.
And
You
watch
got a
out.
very tan tailbone, Tom. It looks great. Like, what?
That'll open up a can of worms. Anyway,
I bet it will, yes.
so the Associated Press had an article this morning. It was told around a lady who was walking her dog in Central Park in New York City, and she looks down, and the dog was like stumbling and falling over itself.
Aw.
And she was like freaking out, like, oh my gosh, I better take the dog to the vet. She takes the dog to the vet. Well, it turns out the dog's high.
Ooh.
Because apparently, and definitely in places where there's legalization that's happened, people are discarding what's left of their joints and imports and stuff like that.
Yep.
So the dog basically ate a little bit of a joint that was laying in the grass or whatever, and the dog got high. And apparently this is a thing where they're actually tracking the numbers of it. What do they say? Over the last 5 years, there's been a 300% increase of people's dogs getting high.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys think about places where legalization has happened, New York City is a great example of it. I mean, you can't go anywhere in New York now. Like, it smells like, what do the kids call it? The Zaza. My kids call it the Zaza. That's the way they
Zaza.
describe it now. And they're like, it smells like the Zaza, like the entire time you're walking around in New York. So do think about, and that's coming here, I'm sure, by the way, everyone. I'm not saying your dogs are all going to get high, but you know, the whole legalization thing, it does have a big impact on.
It does, yeah.
I mean, walking about in Vegas, wherever it might be.
I have a question for you. With all the applications they have now, whether it's the gummies or the pills or the whatever the hell it is, capsules, why would you ever smoke a joint in 2023?
I think people still like the old school and they like the burn they get in their lungs and
It's
that whole
cancerous.
There's that.
He goes, well, you know,
I'm not
don't
smoke.
smoke.
Advocating for smoking a joint.
No, I
either,
know
by
you're
the
not.
way. I think there's some. I know some people who are purists, and they like the other forms of ingestion, but they do like to smoke a joint from time to time.
Well, I will tell you, honest to God, we've talked about this before. 19 of the 22 people I grew up with are dead, right? And had some of them for a long, long time. There's no question about that. The three major causes of their deaths were smoking, drinking way too much, and murder. So what do you think? Which one would you go with, drinking, smoking, or getting murdered? No choice?
Can I pick none of the above?
Yeah, that'd be good.
I'd pick drinking for sure out of all
Just
of those.
drink myself to death.
Yes.
That's exactly.
I don't think that's a shocking choice to me.
Well, I've had some friends that did it. Matter of fact, one of my friends, won't say who he is because he was a dear friend, he literally bought a bunch of booze, locked the door in his house, and drank himself to death.
So what was his then cause of death? Because they won't say drinking. Would it be like...
I think if you overconsume alcohol, your brain it does something really bad. Like if you're really hammered and you keep drinking, I don't know if you could seize up or what the hell happens, but you can die from that. I know that.
Yeah, interesting.
And he did a really nice job of dying, I thought.
Well, like Jimi Hendrix, they talk about it wasn't an OD. It was he was hammered and then fell asleep on his back, and he threw up.
That's exactly.
And
Drowned in his own vomit.
Yeah. So they talk about it, but it seems like that usually is the biggest. I think, and Janis Joplin went the same way. I think.
And then a bunch of people just got wasted or took something and were in a tub, which
Yeah.
that'd be the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Spinal Tap had the great line. I had a friend that once choked to death on somebody else's vomit.
Yeah.
What a great line.
That's so good.
I love Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
And then
good.
The Army guy calls them Spinal Tarp, which I thought was very funny.
Very good movie.
I got to watch that movie again. I haven't seen that movie in years.
Yeah.
Man.
Break Like the Wind. Oh, what a song.
Break Like the Wind. Oh, you got to get going, Buster. You've got duties to perform.
That's right. Yeah, big day coming up on Minnesota Live today. I think the Wienermobile's here.
What? I just looked down at my crotch when you said that. Thank you very much. Great to be here.
Last time I saw the Wienermobile, I was when I got engaged.
Is that it?
No, it wasn't a joke.
I see what you just said to Chris. Does not sound all that clean.
Yeah, but I didn't mean it to.
He showed me his Wienermobile.
No,
it was unbelievable.
we got engaged over in Two Harbors, and then we went and stayed in Duluth, and I looked out the window, and I was like, oh, it's the Wienermobile. And that was the last time I've seen it. How long is it going to be there? I want to come in.
I think the Wienermobile will only be here a short time.
Is there only one?
There are multiple, I believe, but I will find out.
Yeah. I think you're right.
I'll find out for you guys.
Hard-hitting news. Come back
That's
tomorrow.
right. That's
Are you going
right.
to drive it?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
You should.
You should drive
I'd like to. But I'll see what I can do.
Can you
tell him I said.
I'm sorry.
No, I just tell him I said.
Oh.
Let him drive.
No, you demand it. Can you get one of those pictures where, like, you're really close up and it looks like you're eating it?
Only if you do that face again one more time.
I will not. I will not.
I love that.
All right, you guys. I'll see you later.
Thanks, Pally. Chris Egert, ladies and gentlemen, Channel 5. Eyewitness News. Love that guy. I know I say that almost every day, but I'm telling you, this squad we got set up is pretty damn special, don't you think?
The old A squad.
The A squad, exactly. We will take a break, be right back in a couple of minutes. This is Tom. We have a new sponsor to the show, and it's a family business, which is my favorite kind of business. You know that. The owner lives here. His name is Tom Dean. I'm talking about two great businesses that are serving their customers as one. I got to talk to Tom because I know when I lived up in, where the hell was that town I lived in up there again? I can't ever. Oh, Dayton. When I lived in Dayton on the farm. Yeah, the Dean family lived right down the road. Well, not right down the road. They lived right down the highway a little bit. Indeed. So I got it. I have to have met Tom Dean. I met all the Dean brothers.
Oh, look at how successful Dayton's putting out people.
It's true. I'm talking about two great businesses that are serving their customers as one, Power Lodge and Miller Marine. Whatever power sport or marine product you're looking for, it all starts at the Lodge, baby. Power Lodge. Receive the incredible shopping experience you're looking for, and it just so happens that both these stores are kicking off the warm outdoor season with a sale this week. Save money and win stuff during the Power Sale through Saturday, May 6th, with Power Lodge and Miller Marine. They're in Brainerd, Ramsey, Onamia, and Miller Marine, of course, is in St. Cloud. Save on all the pontoons with entry-level brands starting at $19,990, and that includes pontoon motor and trailer. You're going to hear a lot about Power Lodge and Miller Marine from me in the coming months. But during this week's Power Sale, go to any location and get some throttle therapy, Brittany. I said throttle therapy on land and water. MillerMarine.com and PowerLodge.com. You can tell them that Tommy sent you.
The new Tom Barnard Morning Show is proud to have partners like North American Banking, Bradshaw and Bryant, MyPillow, and attorney and advertiser Dave Bielke.
I've been advertising on Tom Barnard shows for years. I like Tom, not just because he's a good guy, but because the ads I run on his show bring me new clients that are hurt at work and need legal help. Tommy B works for me.
Grow results for your business by partnering with the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Visit TomBarnardShow.com.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. As I was explaining to Brittany just now about all the contributors we have to the show. You know, the KQ Morning Show had a lot of contributors, too, that would come and go. But this show does, well, like I said, we brought every one of them along except for one and replaced him with Kristyn Burtt. So actually, you were just asking me how this whole thing works.
Yeah. It's so interesting because it's such a different model than radio.
It is a totally different model. And basically what it is you guys get paid and I don't. So there you have it.
I assumed you didn't get paid.
No,
honestly, I thought you were paying them to do it.
I should pay them to do it. You're absolutely right. There's no question about it.
Or let's be honest, Catherine is. Like, can you take him for 3 hours? It's like daycare. This doesn't even go anywhere. We're just in this room, and we have people call in. It's just to keep you busy for 3 hours.
Yes, that's exactly it. No, what?
Make sure you tell everyone about the new time for the family.
The new family time starting next week is going to be 10:15. What's going to be nice about that is I do this show from 7 to 10, and then hanging around here for an hour and doing. If I had something to do, it was great, but just sitting around here for an hour got really old. And so we're going to do the family podcast. It's going to move to 5 days a week. It was 4 days a week. But we're going to take that extra half an hour and cut it down, put it into another segment on Fridays, which will be Andy and me, and then I'm going to get a co-host for that one too.
Perfect.
And then, so basically it's going to start at 10:15. So about, because we talked, Andy and Rudy talked about this, and they timed it all out. So 10:15 will give us 2, 3, 4 minutes there of downtime. And then we'll be on from 10:15 to 11:15. It'll be a 1 hour show because we're going back to 5 days a week instead of 4. So we'll get the same amount of, I guess it'd be about 1 hour over 5 days. So it's probably about 20 about 10 to 15 minutes shorter.
So what people need to know is if you normally listen live, you're going to have to start listening at 10:15, but don't worry. Andy's pretty good at getting that podcast up.
Yeah,
so if
he
you
is,
normally listen at 11, it should be up very shortly after.
That's correct.
Perfect.
That is exactly right. We'll still be on the air live from 11 to 11:15.
Yes.
So that's good. But yeah, it's going to be much nicer because I got to be honest with you. After the last 5 months or 4.5 months or whatever, I am as tired as a sumbitch. I really am tired because I've been running around like a lunatic trying to get this thing up and rolling for 5 months.
That 1 hour break is just not long enough to go do something.
No, and it's too long to just sit around with nothing to do.
Yeah.
So it all works out in the end. It's going to come together and
perfect.
Maybe we'll just connect them all up eventually. Who the hell knows?
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's been great, and I love doing this show. I'm very, very happy. Working with the Hubbards is very easy for me, and it always has been.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I ever left. Maybe I should have never left there.
No, things happen for a reason.
I suppose.
You had quite a bit of success with
not according to certain management people.
I think that you can't write off that morning show. I mean, what is it? What was the share? It was
30.
Yeah.
It was the highest rated morning show in America.
I think that the choices you made were the right ones at the time. You know what I mean? Like there was pivots, there was this, and then you come back to Hubbard and end your career here. Whenever
which I'm going to do. Yeah. And as a matter of fact, to tell you the truth, when I found out that Cumulus was going to buy KQ, I tried to go other places, but there was nothing available.
Yeah.
Because I knew it was going to be a complete disaster. And it was. I mean, for me, that was a complete and utter disaster. They took a 30-share morning show and destroyed it. But that's what hedge funds do, don't they?
And also, think about the things you created while you're doing that you still love. Like the family podcast you probably wouldn't have created if you would have been fully fulfilled at a different show. And, yeah, I just think things happen for a reason. And you're happy now because you're comparing it to a different situation. So the path you took here is perfect.
No, I think it all really worked out. And by the way, Dan Seaman had a lot to do with Amy Daniels and certainly Ginny Morris. Ginny Hubbard. I don't care about this Morris stuff. You're out of the mix.
Yeah.
It's Ginny Hubbard. Yeah, she actually showed up at the party last week, which I thought was very, very nice. Had a little gathering here. I spent the entire time with Ethan on my lap pointing at the billboard of me.
Yeah.
And then looking at me and he pointed it, and he'd look at me again and he pointed it. You know what I find funny about him? He really keeps speaking to himself.
Really?
Because he can talk, but he never talks. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Like he'll point at the dog and go, Daisy. I mean, he does that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to have a conversation with anyone. He just doesn't. Isn't that weird?
I feel that.
Oh, you do? Yeah. Well,
I feel that quite a bit.
So there you have it.
Rudy.
You and he can get together and have a conversation. It'll be
There
wonderful.
silently, yes.
But no, it's and I sat with Ginny and we talked about it. I said, Ginny, why didn't you hire me 10 years ago when I came over to talk to you about leaving the queue and coming to work with you? And she goes, we couldn't afford you. And I'm like, you're worth billions. Don't give me that. You couldn't afford anyone or anything. Nah, but it's so great to be back. And this was set up by Ginny and Dan. There's no question about it. Then I got the chance to meet Amy. It's so great when Amy tells the story about the first, because I had never met her, right? And she said she was very nervous about meeting me because she didn't know if I was a psychopath or not.
Yeah. She asked me, she called me, she said, I'm meeting with Tom.
Oh, did she really?
Yeah. And she goes,
really?
And she asked me because she had talked to me and talked to Brooke. And she's like, because there's a lot of lore around you.
Why? I mean, from carrying people all my career. Is that what it is?
Like, I mean, Rudy, you know, because you were in the building. There's a lot of lore and, like, you have a reputation, some great, some not so great.
What's the not so great? What did I do now?
No, I'm not going into it, but like,
why not?
Because it's like, there's you 37?
37 years.
37 years. It's like when people ask me, "Hey, how was your deployment?" And that was only 1 year. I go, "How do you say a full year of being in Kuwait and Iraq into one sentence?"
Yeah, makes
How
sense.
do you say 37 years you're going to have and keep in mind you were so sleep deprived, craziness left
the
and
whole
right.
time. That's
you
true.
had some of the most insane, good or bad, insane people on your show with you. And it's like, how do you encapsulate that in one sentence? So yeah, you have a reputation because you've had your voice recorded for 37 years, starting at
Actually 52.
5 a.m.
Well, starting at 5 a.m. for the 37. Yeah, that's true.
Like,
I don't know. I just it's a weird deal. But hey, I got to be honest with you. As soon as I met with Dan and Ginny, and then later on with Amy, every single thing that I wanted to happen happened. Every single one of them. Not a lot. You guys do know this because you've worked other places. That just doesn't happen.
No.
They say, hey, we'll get this done. Whatever you need, let us know. We'll get it taken care of. It'll be wonderful. You never hear that from radio stations, ever.
Correct.
Which is pretty damn cool, don't you think?
Yeah.
And all I do is support them because when we're down in Florida, there's a radio station at 107.1. It's called Sunny 107. It's a Hubbard station.
You're keeping them alive. Hubbard thanks you.
It's all I ever do is support the company. You know what I'm saying? It's all I ever do.
I really want you to read this story. It walks the line of being political, but it's very funny. The Minnesota lawmakers' shirtless Zoom vote breaks the internet.
That thing
Will
is
you
unbelievable.
read that?
Well, we got Judd coming up in a second. We could read it during his stay.
Perfect.
Right?
Yeah, he'll be up in just a second here. Yep.
No, I mean, whatever. There's no hurry. I mean, I could read it now if you.
Yeah.
You want me to read it now?
Yes, sir.
And where is the story?
Tom's News Stories.
Tom's News Stories, okay. And it's under the headline of...
Shirtless Zoom vote.
Oh, there it is right there, yeah.
I haven't read it, and I saw it, and it just made me laugh, and I thought...
I saw the picture. I haven't read it yet either.
Me too.
It's redirecting me to the Star Tribune as we speak, as a matter of
Perfect.
fact. So that's good. Minnesota lawmakers' shirtless Zoom vote breaks the internet. What do you mean breaks the internet? Jesus. A Minnesota state senator found internet fame, reluctantly apparently, after casting his vote in a Zoom meeting Monday while shirtless in front of an apt background. Who was that little kid behind him?
It's a Schoolhouse Rock, how a bill
sure.
becomes a law
Yeah,
picture.
There you go. Senator Calvin Barr, a Republican who went to sound his vote on the Legislative Audit Commission when he appeared lying in bed with his shirt off and a still image of an anthropomorphic Bill character from Schoolhouse Rock as the background. Yes, it's right there. After giving yes vote, he quickly turns the camera upwards and turns off the video, so it's a black screen that just shows Senator Cal Barr. Several people in an in-person meeting room are seen smiling in the background after the camera switches back. A Senate spokeswoman actually, said Barr had worked until 4:45 in the morning at his job as a truck driver and then went to bed Monday morning. She said he would not comment on the vote or the video. So it's none of your damn business that he was topless the whole time he was voting. It is a good picture, though. We should reach out to Calvin Barr. Calvin, you're looking good, man.
Yeah.
Although he's got a look on his face like, why are you bothering me?
Yeah, I can't imagine being that lackadaisical about that. You jump on without a shirt.
But, if he's tired, he's tired. Right?
I mean, I don't know why it has to do with putting a shirt on.
No, I honestly got this. Like I said, that's why we're kind of reconstructing things. And I literally, from running around the country doing things here, there, and the other thing, and then getting the show up and running and blah, 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 because there's a lot of things to battle whenever you do something new. And Hubbard's been great about it. There have been very, very few things that I've had to work on with them, but everybody else, well, yeah, you guys have been down this road. You've been, fired from other jobs or left to go someplace else. And we're surprised by the way you were treated by some people you worked with that you thought you were really good friends with. You've been through that, haven't you?
Yeah. A little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just kind of natural you float away, especially when your main reason you guys were seeing each other every day was work. And then there's people like my friend Allie, like we were friends, and we'll be friends forever. And she'll be here next week. Allie.
Oh, she's coming in next week?
Yeah.
Where's she living now? Chicago?
Chicago, yeah.
So,
she's coming in town, and so she's going to jump on our show next week on Thursday. So
I don't think so. I think she's out of the mix.
You said she could.
I don't remember saying.
I waited until you were in a good mood and a little tired.
You had to wait a long time for that.
I played the long game, and I finally got you at the perfect time, and I was like, yes.
It all works out in the end. No, I have not seen her in years.
I know, she's so excited.
And she never talked to me, even when I did see her.
You are so dramatic.
She would never talk to me.
It's so funny because in her mind, you guys were like so good.
No, we were fine. There was not a problem. It's just we never talked.
No, of course not, though. Because their shows were at the same time ours was.
I suppose. So I got the hell out. Although I didn't go in the building for 25 years. That might have something to do with it.
She still remembers when you came in during her birthday and we all sang happy birthday and you kept going, hap.
You know who did that to me first?
Nick Swardson.
Nick Swardson. It was my birthday and he sat there the whole damn time going, hap. Yeah, thanks a lot, Nick. When's Nick coming to town? I haven't heard his name pop up at all. When the hell's he coming back?
I don't know, but I would love to meet him. I've never met him in person, only on the phone.
Nick is a great guy.
I told you that I loved him. I was in my 20s and madly in love with him, and you called him up and made me talk to him on the phone, on your phone, and I was a wreck.
Nick is a good man. Why don't we reach out and have him on? We could talk to him on the show, and then you have him come to town.
I would be actually shy. And not because I still have a crush on him, but I would be like, I would have to do that thing where you try to be normal because I loved Nick Swardson.
He's a great guy. Really good guy. You worked with him. Rudy, you worked with Nick?
I've never worked with him, no.
Really?
No.
I suppose he's been gone from the market for a long time. But yeah, he's a hell of a guy, no question about it. My kids just love the guy. Catherine and he get along really. Yeah, he's a great friend to the family and his family, his sister, brother, mom. Terrific people, really, really nice people. So, yeah. Matter of fact, I'll call him today and see if you want me to book him, or why don't you suggest a time to me that, and I'll see if you can.
Anytime. Like I want. Oh yeah, I'll get back to you a time.
I'll call him right now.
Anytime we'll make it work.
Because no matter where he is, he's not awake because it's only 9:05 here. Which means in general he's in LA, which means it's 7:05, and there ain't no way Nick Swartz is up at 7:05 in the morning.
Respect.
Not happening.
I respect that.
I suppose. No, but we'll set that up for you. You want to? We can go out and have lunch afterward too if you want.
Shut your dumb mouth.
Shut my dumb mouth. That's how it's gonna go.
Just talk. I would die. I don't even know if I could do lunch because I would sit there pretending to eat and like letting it fall out of my mouth.
Judd, is there one person that you've never met you'd love to meet?
That's a really good question at this point. Years ago, probably yes. Now, it would probably be like a musician or an actor.
Yeah.
It definitely wouldn't be in sports. Once you work in the business, right, it's all gone. I think the most interesting person I could meet is I actually grew up a huge Replacements fan. So probably Paul Westerberg, who lives around here, but he'd be an interesting guy on the right day to talk to.
I got a connection for you.
Do you?
I do. So let me know. If you guys will set it up, I bet I can make it happen. Yeah.
He'd be an interesting cat to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I could pick him out of a lineup. I really don't think. I don't think I'd recognize him on the street anymore. I haven't seen him in years.
You might not now.
No.
Me too at this point in time. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. No. He's not like a Brian Setzer. It's not like a guy that has that look,
Yeah, Brian does have that. You're right. He does have that
look.
You
can see him when he's 80 and you're like, you're Brian Setzer for sure.
We had him in studio at the Q a few years ago. And the whole time he looked at me like, what in the hell is your deal? He did. He had this look in his eye the whole time. It was kind of funny, actually. He didn't have a lot of patience for Uncle Tommy, I think. So nor did I give a rat's ass, but it all worked. He's a very nice guy, from what I can remember. A really decent guy.
Why would you not have patience for you?
Judd, honest to God, I am just that kind of person. I know you started laughing, but there is nobody that I would try to impress. Like, who gives a rat's ass whether I'm not going to impress you? Who cares? First of all, I couldn't. And secondly, why even try then, right?
Yeah, that stops Tom, what, around 40 at the latest, I think?
Probably. That's probably
like
right.
You just don't care anymore.
I don't care about that kind of stuff. I've met every person I've ever, like I said, that one period, and everybody criticizes me for this too, because one of my favorite people I ever met was Jane Fonda. And she came into studio a couple of times and sat there and did a show and all the rest of it. And she can be very political, and I know she's very, very liberal and all the rest of it. And some people don't like that. But she is one of the sweetest people I have ever met in my entire life. She's got her opinions, don't get me wrong, but you can look in her eye and see the damage that her father did to her. There, you can see it really easily.
Really?
He treated her like dirt. It's unfortunate. It's too bad. Old Henry was a massive pain in the ass from Afghanistan. And then Peter Falk, the other guy. I loved Peter Falk as a kid. Oh my God, I love
Oh, yeah. Now you're talking.
Now
Peter Falk. Oh my God, yes. I am so with you.
Oh, he was so great. He just was one of those very, very nice people. I've met very, very few. Rich Hall was about the only major prick I've ever had in studio. He sat there and read the newspaper, wouldn't talk on a radio show.
Where does Rich Hall get off being?
I don't know.
See, Rich Hall's you're not, dude, you're famous, but you ain't famous enough to pull that stunt.
No, God.
Like that's the type of thing personally now that drives me crazy, because I'm now at the point where if you pull that stunt, I'm like, dude, you're not famous enough to pull that.
Yeah, no question about it. And the people who are famous enough wouldn't pull that.
Correct, because they're smarter than that.
Yeah, they're smarter than that. They're very, very good people. Now, that's one thing about being in this business. People always ask me, is there somebody you've always wanted to meet? And it had to be somebody who had died a long time ago, because in this business, I've met just about, in 52 years, you're going to meet everybody, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, you just are. There's no question about that. It's a weird life because it's very, very public. And again, the show we were just talking about, it had a 30 share. It was the highest rated show in America. So everybody wanted to be on it.
Well, and you've worked in, I mean, through the course of your life too, Tom, you've worked in so many different facets that put you in front of people who are famous and or just flat out well known.
Yeah, there's been a lot of that. Voiceover, there was a lot.
Yeah.
Rudy, I'm sure, worked with famous people a lot, doing voiceover and all that.
There's only been a couple that have been difficult, but for the most part, I think most are cool. Yeah. Yep. You know who's really difficult? People that used to be on the top that aren't anymore.
Yeah. Do you have an example?
Chris Kattan from Saturday Night Live.
Oh,
that's too bad.
That is too bad.
I've had him in studio. He was always a very sweet guy.
Yeah,
That's weird.
Very sweet guy when it's time for the microphones to heat up, but behind the scenes is a little hard to work with. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. He's just one of those guys that had, his moment in the sun.
Yeah.
And I think like he wasn't ready to give it up yet. And the business was like, no, we're taking it from you. And I think he's kind of out there, because of it. Yeah.
No, I could see that.
Mhm.
That's unfortunate. Yeah. He was always very, very, matter of fact, in this building, not in this studio, but when we were on the 5th floor, he came in and did the show. And I remember I walked down with him went down on the elevator and was walking out of the building, and he was recognized by everybody in this building, man. Everybody knew who he was. But he was very, very pleasant with me. So he might just go through periods.
Yeah, like I said, when the microphones heat up, he knows how to burn calories. He's a great performer.
Yeah, he is. You're right about that. But no, it's been terrific. Judd, you got one person that you met you were very, very impressed with.
Yeah, as far as athletes go, Wayne Gretzky, super impressive.
Yeah, I heard he's a great guy. Never met him.
The greatest guy of all time who you have talked about before, and you're exactly right, is Killebrew. I mean, Harmon's.
Oh, God, Harmon.
The guy was fantastic. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yep.
And there is nobody nicer. And to Rudy's point, it didn't end. Like, there is so many athletes have perfected when the camera light goes on. Here's who I am. And everyone's like, oh, he's the greatest guy. And then it turns off and you're like, no, he's a jerk. Harmon Killebrew is one of the nicest human beings. I mean, did you ever see him, come anywhere close to him not being just simply first class?
No, always. There was a balance in the universe, though, that he had to hold his position as one of the nicest people ever born just to balance out what a prick Rod Carew was.
Yet That's too bad too.
It is too bad.
It's really too bad that and Rod was a weird guy because I recall as a kid, Tom, he would sign. Like he would go before Twins games and sign autographs. And but I've always heard the stories that like Carew was a prick. Blyleven could be a real prick.
Oh, I love Burtt.
I guess
title or not, baby.
Patrick tells some great stories about Burtt during Burt's playing day. Well, I mean, Burtt, don't forget, Burt's last go around in his first time as a Twin was flipping off the fans right before he got traded to the Rangers. Right. He's coming off the field and he gives them the big "you're number one" because he was being heckled, probably by you now in retrospect, because it was right behind the dugout. A bunch of guys were heckling him and he flipped them off. Yeah, Burtt, the image Burtt portrayed as circle me Burtt was not Burtt the pitcher, that's for sure.
No, that is true. I should probably reach out to Burtt though and have him come on, because he used to host this bit that we had on the show about once a month during baseball season. It was called Porno Movie Title or Not. And he would read these just obnoxious movie titles, and we had to find out if they were real or not, right? And he could not have been easier to work with. Just a very pleasant guy, great sense of humor, really, really a decent guy to work with. So that's so weird.
I think that changed a lot.
Yeah, that's what I understand.
But I think what people don't get too, and it's not a big deal now, but I think that people don't get in the 70s especially what a pain in the ass athletes were. Because now they're sort of molded, right? And the cameras are always on. And if you do something really bad, guess what? It's on Twitter in 20 seconds, right? But to hear the stories of the 70s and baseball players and like the Red Sox clubhouse and stuff is just incredible. What a group of miserable human beings those guys could be. And for them, there was no retribution. So if you MF'd a reporter or a fan, guess what? No one heard about it.
No, you're absolutely right about that, because looking back at exactly what you're talking about, it was a whole different world back then. It really was. So what the hell? We'll slog through it all, right?
Let's not forget the greatest Burtt Blyleven moment of all time.
Was that Burtt or me?
Oh, poor
yeah,
Burtt.
That's him going, we're live?
We're live? Whoops.
It was LaPanta who says to him, "We're live." Oh, we are?
Oh, I didn't know.
We got to do that again. I effed it up.
Yep.
I don't know. Like I said, I always enjoyed working with Burtt. He was never a prick to me. I don't know what it was. Maybe we just balanced out or something. But he was always terrific to work with, no question about it. I mean, he's no Kent Herbeck, don't get me wrong,
Yes.
But such is life.
How about your ball club, Tom?
Herbeck.
He is. Somebody I had no idea what to expect.
Great
He has
guy.
become one of my. Sorry, Judd. My favorite people on the show. I did not expect that, because I'm like, whatever, it was our sports talk, and I'll chill
I'm
out.
gonna hang out with douchebags. Why'd you ever think I would do that?
He is so casually funny and doesn't seem to know it, and it's hilarious.
One of my favorite Kent Herbeck stories is this is years ago out at Bear Path. We were Johnny Castino and Herbeck and I were all members out there at the time. And there was a Halloween 9-hole. It was like 9 and dined on Halloween night.
Oh, fun.
You see a 6'5", about 240 pound, 250 pound Kent Herbeck coming, and he's wearing a halo.
What an angel.
This gigantic man wearing a halo.
Oh, that's funny.
Like, oh my God. Unbelievable. But I think I told you several weeks ago about that time that I walked in the Twins clubhouse and it looked like they wanted to kill me.
Mm-hmm.
Did I ever tell you that one, Judd?
I don't think so.
So this is years ago. And I'm such a huge Twins fan. If you screw up, I'm going to go after you, because I'm a huge fan of the Twins. And if you screw it up, you're going to hear about it, right?
Right.
Don't remember what it was all about, but I went after the team pretty hard. And then I walked in the Twins locker room or that little open area that used to be. I don't know. This was back in the Metrodome, a long time ago.
Yep.
But nobody would turn around and even look at me. They wouldn't talk to me. They wouldn't look at me. They just completely stayed away from me. And all of a sudden, here out of the shower comes Herbeck. Hey, Tommy, how you doing? You smart ass. And he only did it just to make me feel uncomfortable. That's the only reason he did it.
Of course.
That guy. Herbeck's as good as it gets. And by the way, he still owes me, I believe, 157 beers because I used to do the voiceover for his Channel 11. Was it pretty much a fishing show?
Fishing show.
Yeah, pretty much fishing show. So I never took any money for doing that. He said, I'll buy you a beer. At this point, he owes me about 157 beers because I never got one beer. That's stiff.
Not even one?
Not one.
I'll take them now, Tom. Since you don't drink,
that's right.
Funnel those 157 my way. I'll gladly accept them on behalf of Tom Barnard. How does that sound?
Nah, you talk about the luck of the draw, man. I go through a situation. I'm hanging out with Gary Gaetti and Tim Laudner and Roy Smalley and Herbeck and Blylev and all that. What a dream come true. For me, as 9 years old, a huge Twins fan, for me to be hanging out with baseball players at that level, it still means the world to me because I love baseball. Just love it.
And you, though, also went through some and remained loyal to some terrible Twins teams. So it paid off as well. So like you did, I mean, anybody that sat in the Met Stadium in the late 70s to watch that deserves some type of reward for it.
I got to take a quick break, and you can get another 20 minutes with us.
I most definitely do for you.
What's 38? Is that when you need to be
38-ish, yeah.
I just want to make sure.
I appreciate that, Tom. Thank you very much.
Not a problem. We'll take a break. Be right back right after this. You know, I've been losing weight. I got to tell you, I'm really impressed with the program offered by MN Fat Loss, as a matter of fact. The team at MN Fat Loss has figured out the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day. Now, I'm going to be very honest about how this is going for me. Yeah. Because we had some family stuff 5 days in a row. We had family stuff, and they insisted I go out to dinner with them. So I actually put on a few pounds, and I reported that weight gain to Minnesota Fat Loss.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to look, I know it's all just salt, and it's all going to be gone by tomorrow.
Yeah, but you're going to be honest where you're starting at, too.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. So I went from like 258 to 262.
Okay. It's
just not that big a deal because it's all going to go away probably today by tomorrow or the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Oh, it's hey, look, you got to live your life, and if you go eat at a restaurant, you're going to eat some salt, which means you're going to hold on to more water. It's just going to happen.
Are you talking to them about what options to grab?
That's exactly what I'm going to do. Is maybe have one of them on to talk about. But what should I do? Because I can't just say no. I'm not going to your birthday party. Fawn's birthday is the 26th of May, and Sage's birthday is the 13th of June. I can't just say, well, I can't eat any of your cake or ice cream.
That'll be good advice for all of us, kind of like what's going on.
But I'm going to ask them how to get me through that because you're going to put weight on.
Because in this program, you have someone to talk to, right?
Oh, yeah. They're great about that stuff. You do reports. All right. I'll get back to this deal, but I just want to let you know. So I have lost 14 pounds. It's down to like 12 now, but it'll be 14, 15 by tomorrow. I've only been on the program a few weeks. I'm feeling healthier. I got more energy, and that is a fact. The program is safe and effective. That's huge for me. You know, I'm not going to count points or eat prepackaged meals and no hypnosis, none of that stuff. Seriously, folks, you want to lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two, you really ought to check out the program at mnfatloss.com. Now, that, by the way, is a good point. You're going to lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm at about, I think I started my 4th week now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So can I lose another 6 pounds in the next 3 weeks? Yes, to lose 2 pounds a week. So I'll be right on schedule again. That's one of the things about being on a diet that I'm happy about. You're going to once in a while hit a bump, but you'll recover quickly and everything will be fine.
Perfect.
Of course, results may vary, but I'm losing weight. I feel great. If you want to find out the secret to losing 14 pounds in just a couple of weeks, it actually was only about 12 days, to tell you the truth. It's about a pound of fat every day. No exercise required. Schedule your free consultation by calling 763-312-7600 online at mnfatloss.com. Be sure to tell them Tom Barnard said to give mnfatloss.com a call.
This is Bob Sansevier, and I want to tell you about Dave Bialki from Bialki Law. Dave represented my wife, Mary, when she had a significant workplace injury. She was very happy with the job Dave did. If you have a work-related injury and have Dave represent you, I'm betting you'll be happy too. Dave is a down-to-earth guy. He grew up in northern Minnesota, rides a Harley, and worked various jobs doing concrete, electrical, plumbing, roofing, and carpentry work. Dave works for people with work-related injuries. If you work construction, or anywhere for that matter, and you're hurt or even just hurting, you should talk to Dave. Let's face it, our bodies wear out. If your body is worn out from work, if your knees or back or shoulders hurt from things you do at work, do what Mary did. Call Dave and talk to him about it at Bialki Law to set up a free initial consultation. The number to call is 763-571-2410. That's 763-571-2410. Or visit bialkilaw.com. That's BIALKE law.com.
Besties. I have besties now. Is that the plan?
BFF.
BFF. Yeah, there you go.
Forever and always.
So our Twins had the day off yesterday, correct?
Yes, they did.
So they take the day off. Now they're on the road. They're not facing a lot of competition, and I hate to say that because, you know, you go on the road once in a while, get your ass kicked by bad teams.
Yes.
But they're not playing a lot of great teams in the next few weeks.
Here's a question for you. Did you ever think throughout the course of the 2022 season, Tom Barnard, that the AL Central would get worse this year? I thought it was as bad as it could be. The White Sox, my man, are a mess. Cleveland's not as good. Kansas City, we just saw, and they're god-awful. And Detroit. I mean, this division is a gift from the heavens.
How did they all just fall apart at the same time? That's so weird.
I don't understand, just starting, I don't understand how the White Sox are this bad.
No, they're terrible. They're really bad.
You know,
I don't get it.
They fired Tony, and so we all thought, okay, you know, he wasn't great. Was at one time for sure, but they fired La Russa, so we all thought that they're going to improve. They didn't. A.J. Hinch is like now in his third year with Detroit, and so at some point in time we all thought, okay, this guy's going to turn things around. They're still, if not a hot mess, they're still a mess. I mean, this division is going to be sitting there.
Seems like it. I mean, the Twins have, 3.5 game leaders at 4 now.
I have to check. I think it's 3.5.
I think it's 3.5. I didn't check, but some teams did have a game yesterday, so I'm wondering if it went to 3 or went to 4, because it could have.
I'll find it. Yep.
With the day off, ladies and gentlemen, that stuff's going to happen. So I don't know. I love watching the Twins, man. They had a bump in the road there for a while, but then they came storming right back again against some pretty bad teams, no doubt about it. But it continues. You got to play them all, right?
It is 3 games over Cleveland, 6 games over Detroit. Get this, 9 games over the White Sox, who they play tonight in Chicago, and it is 10 games. Kansas City, Tom, is 7-22. The White Sox are 8-21.
Oh. That's
terrible.
terrible.
You gotta work to be that bad. And how about the pitching of Sonny Gray?
Amazing.
How great is that to watch?
What is he giving up? 2 runs? 3 maybe?
3 earned runs. I think he's at 3, and I think they won all 4 games he started, and his ERA is .77.
That's pretty good.
How about that?
Yeah, it's taking a pretty good run at the Cy Young Award, I would think. So far, so good.
Yeah, no question.
I think it's going to be so. What's great about it now is the Twins are going to be on the road for, about 10 days, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get back home, it's going to be mid-May, and it's going to be beautiful out, and it's time to start going to some ball games, man. No doubt about it.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, when they come home, the next homestand is the Padres and Cubs.
Oh.
So, you know, no offense to the Royals, but when I see Kansas City on the schedule, I don't think to myself, man, I got to get out and see the Kansas City Royals.
Yeah.
You know, Cubs and Padres. And I think after that, they go on the road and come back, and it's the Giants. So May's going to be fun.
It'll be fun.
Okay,
It's tougher.
I have an email I really want to read for you guys. You guys were talking about, people that were nice, people that were not nice, when you've talked to sports people. And we had a listener, Tracy, message in. Harmon Killebrew was the nicest guy.
Great guy.
Had my teenage son who had special needs, non-mobile, non-verbal, at a Twins game, not knowing Harmon was there signing autograph. Harmon's time was up as we walked by with my son in his wheelchair, and the velvet ropes were up, preventing any more fans from coming up to him. He saw my son and called us over, spoke to my son and dad at length, and signed a ball that said, "To my buddy, Danny, Harmon Killebrew." That didn't happen often with our son, who passed away about a year and a half ago.
Oh, Jesus.
Most people looked right past him, but not Harmon.
Do you love Harmon Killebrew? Damn it.
Unbelievable.
Love that man.
So sweet.
I miss him. I really do. He used to come in studio all the time and just have God, what a great guy. Just a great man. Well, I'm really glad you read that story. That's terrific. They lost their baby?
Yeah, but, it looks like there's a lot of good memories they're tapping into.
I hope so. I got to be honest with you about this, and it's not, like I said, this doesn't have a political element to it at all. It just happens to be about a politician's son. Explain to me, and again, I was never involved in anything like this, so I don't know how it goes, and it might be a lot more difficult than I think or whatever. But how are you the son of the President of the United States, and you don't want to pay child support for your own baby? I mean, it's your baby. He doesn't even talk to the kid, doesn't reach out to him, connect with him at all. I mean, how could you do that? I could never do that.
Back in the early 90s, the state of Minnesota decided that they wanted to try to shame deadbeat dads.
Oh, yeah.
And they put all their names, like the top 100 people, they put all their names on TV and radio to get these guys to pay child support. And if you look back at some of those old reports, my old man, number one on that list.
Really?
No way, Rudy.
You're kidding.
Number one,
Really?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
You should get a T-shirt of that list of yours highlighted. That's impressive.
Yeah, no, I love to bring up trauma and wear it as a T-shirt. Absolutely. Yes.
Absolutely. Why not?
Oh, Rudy.
Why not?
But we did a documentary about my dad 10 years ago, and we found the actual one of the reports that came from KSTP, and then and you can see my old man's name, boop, right there, $40,000 over I don't know what it was, like a 7-year period or something, and then you add in penalties and taxes and compounding interest and all that.
Yeah,
never paid a dime.
It blows my mind because here's the thing: anybody who has kids know this. The cheapest way to raise a kid is to pay child support.
Yeah, it is.
There's
Absolutely
no other.
It is.
And so when we worked with somebody who complained about paying child support, one of the guys we worked with.
I don't remember who that is.
Yeah, I don't know. He probably didn't do it in front of you. But I was like...
Give me the hand signal under the desk.
Right? I was like... I literally stopped him because my mom, she had 3 kids. We saw my dad once a year. She relied on those. And at the same time, we always laugh. She's like, that is the cheapest way you can raise a kid or you can have a child just existing.
Yeah.
It's because there's so many more expenses. Anybody who has a kid who receives child support knows that they're getting off very lightly. No matter how much you make, those kids are so expensive. There's so many little costs here and there that they'll never have to know about.
If you had a baby, why wouldn't you want to embrace that kid and go, man, you're my son, you're my daughter, whatever the situation. I just don't understand how you could walk away from your own baby. I don't get that.
Well, that's what's so wild when you hear about people. They say, well, that was the way they were raised and they didn't know any better. But it's I know that's you and Rudy. I always think about you guys, and you guys were not raised with dads that were there, but here you guys are obsessed with your kids.
It's true. I got to mention something very, very quickly here. We, on the family podcast yesterday, had a psychic on.
Ooh.
And I'm not a big psychic guy. I don't like him. I don't dislike him. I don't believe him. I don't disbelieve him. I just have never really gotten involved much with the whole thing. But he was on yesterday, and people were amazed because he brought up 7 points about, and I've never met the guy, never even met him. The first thing he said, I said, why don't you do a reading on me? Because I figured to throw out the challenge, and if he couldn't stand up to it, that's his problem.
Yeah.
Right? So I said, well, why don't you do a reading on me? He goes, do you want me to start with your father? Because that's where we're going to end up. I said, what? He goes, he's here with me right now. And I said, what? He named 7 things, and all 7 things were true.
Like what?
Whoa.
Okay, well, don't start tearing up, Brittany. You'll start crying, right?
Yeah, I cry easily. It's fine.
I was called to my father's deathbed by my father. My father and I, as you know, we never got along, ever got along. And so he called me. He wanted to see me before he died. But it turns out the only reason he wanted to see me is because I was bigger than everybody else, and he thought I could carry him out of the hospital and get him out of there. Oh. That's why he called me, right? Oh. But there was one thing that he brought up at the very, and he didn't want to talk about it. He said, that other thing, I don't want to talk about that. And I said, which other thing? He says, the Bible. And I said, oh my God, how do you know about the Bible? He goes, I'm here with your father. And he kept saying that, right? No, I don't know if I believe that or not, but whatever. They found a Bible, and my father was never religious. He was not a religious guy at all. I think later in life, people do tend to get religious, I suppose. He was only 60 when he died, though. But they showed me this Bible, and there was a section about 2 inches by 2 inches that was completely rubbed out, which means he used to rub his finger across it to read it, right? And it literally he did it so many times that there were no letters there anymore. It was just kind of like a 2 by 2 inch square. You could see that there used to be, the ink was still there, but the words weren't, right? So he said, you should look up and see what that was. And I said, how did you know about it? He said, I told you, he's here with me. I said, okay, fine. The little square was, here comes Brittany. This ain't going to be good for you. The whole thing was a prayer of how to get your son to return into your life. It was a bitch, man. And he was right. That's what it was. I looked it up. It was about how it wasn't the prodigal son thing. It was another son thing. It was about how can I get my son back into my life. I don't deserve it, but I want him back in my life. Isn't that a bitch to go, Brittany can't talk anymore?
So what was your reaction?
Yeah.
I mean, that's incredible, Tom.
I started crying. I did.
Was there something healing to that?
Oh, God, for me, yeah, absolutely. It was I didn't think he gave her. Well, Rudy, wouldn't you be shocked if your dad did that to you?
Yeah, I'd be shocked if my old man knew how to read, actually.
Well, that's a good argument. There's no doubt about that.
That blows my mind.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
If you could find healing from that and recognize your dad was just this really
sick man.
He
was, yeah.
And if he could, he would.
Yep.
And he couldn't.
He just couldn't do it, yeah. That helped me a lot, knowing that not only did he not want to do it, he couldn't have done it anyway. So that did help. Wouldn't that'd help you, Rudy, wouldn't it? Knowing that he even just couldn't do it?
Yeah, I had that for a long time. I always had that he had bad parents and he was an alcoholic. But now that I'm in my 40s and I have my kid and I do everything possible to be able to give her the best life possible, I'm like, you know what? Pound sand, Dad. I tried so hard for years to be able to have a relationship with you, and I sought you out, and how many times I'd track you down at the bar. When I had to find out if he was the father of my half-sister that we just met 2 years ago, it took me 6 months to find him.
Really?
No phone calls. He doesn't have a phone. He doesn't have a return address. He's never at home because he's always passed out in an alley somewhere.
Still.
And finally, I just went, you know what? Screw you, man. I've tried so hard, and you've given nothing in return to any of us.
It is so crazy you mentioned. So, I was in a good place. My dad was he had a lot of problems,
But he was a fast runner, so that was good.
And so we saw him once a year, and that was it.
That was it?
That was it.
Was
we saw
it Christmas?
Him once a year. No, we would take the train. It was in the middle of summer. We'd do a week in Montana, and once a year. And I always thought, all these things, he hated us, he whatever.
Right.
And, the more I learned, I healed a lot and accepted my dad for what he is. And then I got to a point in my 20s, late 20s, where I was like, you know what? If I look at this like a glorified uncle, that he'll call me, he sends a check on my birthday. He's not a bad person. Mm-hmm. He's just not a great father, right? And we, I was accepted that. But when I had my kid, I reverted quite a bit. I ended up having to go to my therapist.
Yeah, I bet.
Because I thought my mom told me, yeah, he didn't change diapers. He didn't do this. And watching my husband do all that and thinking,
yeah,
the things he missed and things he didn't want to do after. I had to really take a break from interacting at all with my dad, a small amount every 3 month kind of call or whatever.
Right.
And then some things happened and I got back to the mindset of he's human. He's just a guy. He's just a guy that was, I don't know, maybe not supposed to have kids, but
still had a job to do. You can't forgive him for that.
Yeah,
he had a job to do.
But maybe in his way he did it, and maybe
by abandoning you.
I mean, I do think there's something to be said that my life is better with him not in there every day.
Probably
and
true.
maybe with your dad too. And
Oh,
God,
definitely.
it makes me so emotional thinking how many times he put his hand over those words and thought about you
Yep.
and your brothers.
Because
Like,
he rubbed them out. No, he didn't think of my brother. It was all more me now. That's what it was all about.
I mean, there's something to be said about if you can heal a little bit from that.
I did. Just yesterday, the fact that he even knew about that was amazing. I mean, it was. How the hell would he even know that? Because I don't go around telling that story. Let me tell you a story here in the bar about the Bible.
Psychics weird me out. Like,
there
are ones where I go,
Yeah.
there's no way you couldn't know that. Like, I want to be, because like I want to be like a rational whatever. Like, no way. But there's some times where I've had them say something where I go, gulp.
You know, one of my favorite stories, Echo Bodine. I love that woman anyway. She's a wonderful person. First time she ever came in studio years and years ago. She comes in studio, sits down to do the show, and she goes, Tom, it's so great to be here, and you're doing the show with your family. Is this your son? It was Doug Sprinthal. No, I don't have any 60-year-old sons, but...
Oh, and you guys don't even look alike.
I was like, what? She thought Doug was my son. Like, shut up and get away from me. But such is life. So, Judd, you got to hit the road here. It's the 40s, man.
Yes, sir.
But we will talk to you tomorrow and Thursday.
Yes, we will.
Looking
And
forward to it.
we'll hopefully talk after a Twins win tonight in Chicago.
I love that little win.
Like that optimism for you?
It's right in my wheelhouse, baby. That's all I have to say to you. Thank you, sir.
All right, take care. Talk to you all.
Judd Zulgad, ladies and gentlemen. Skor North, of course. Went out there last Thursday night and just hung out with them backstage a little bit during their
draft
NFL
party.
draft party. Yeah, that was good. It was very, very nice. Well, plus the fact I love
huge.
Park Tavern anyway.
Yeah.
I just love that place.
Their food is like.
I agree.
The only reason I want to say surprisingly because it has like a bar fun vibe, and then their food is good.
It's true.
Yeah.
So I never did make it to the bathroom, so I'm going to go now. What do you think of that?
Do it.
And you don't have to run a break for another 5 minutes. So I'll be back in time for the break.
Perfect.
All right, thanks. Yeah, I go in there. Only I go in there, and all 3 spots are taken up. What the hell is that?
That's totally cool. Brittany, you think you can grab these reins for the next 3.5 minutes?
I mean, here's a great practice.
Okay.
Welcome to the Brittany Arneson Show.
Yeah, there's practice.
I did want to talk about this story.
Welcome to the Brittany Arneson Show.
Thank you. I needed that. It's happened a couple days ago, but the headline was pretty much one person arrested for slapping police horse during Maple Leafs celebration.
Yeah, I saw this.
The celebrations that followed the Maple Leafs' first playoff series victory in 19 years were largely tame, with the exception of one fan who allegedly, they're not ready to commit, slapped a police horse Saturday night. Toronto police told CTV News Toronto that the man was arrested for public intoxication after he slapped the horse on its hindquarters. Neither the horse nor the mounted officer were injured, and the man released from 52 Division with their jail once he was sober, the police said. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I can, because absolutely, because I
do hang out with
I hang out with a rowdy bunch, and I think sometimes people forget that Canadians, for how nice they are wildly drunkards.
Yeah,
they are some of the funnest and yet also craziest people. That I mean, if you look back on, I know we're talking about hockey, but if you look back at Toronto's history, their mayor was a crackhead.
It's true.
It's honest to God. If you look that guy up, he was a legit crackhead while he was in office. And I think we forget sometimes that Canada has a rich history of, I mean, like for what we call like a Miller Lite or a Bud Light here, they have Molson. And Molson is like 6%.
Which, like, what's a normal beer? It's like 3.2 or whatever?
Like, usually like a 3.2. Like if you get like a Miller Lite at a ball game, I think it's like maybe like a 4 tops.
Double, almost double.
Yeah, so it's diesel. It's got some punch to it, you know? So Canada, every time I hear these stories, people are surprised that I just thought Canada was just like guys in flannel shirts.
Nice.
They're lumberjacks.
Yeah.
No. They're drunks who love hockey. So when it comes time for their playoff team to win a playoff game in 19 years, this is to be expected.
You know, it kind of feels the same as like when Tom talks about visiting Ireland, where you go, all these, like nice, whatever people, but he keeps talking, I think this was Scotland or Ireland. He said that every time he went anywhere, everyone wanted to wrestle him. And I'm like, that is such a drunk person thing to do in a public set. I mean, not even a public setting. If I walk in someone's house and at some point they say, let's wrestle, you go, this person drinks a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's never the domain of the sober person.
No.
I've never had a sober guy come up and be like, hey, you want to grapple for a while? No, there's no grappling going on.
I was talking about, was it Scotland or Ireland where you went everywhere and
Scotland.
People wanted to wrestle you?
Everybody wanted to wrestle me in Scotland.
That is just wild.
You want to wrestle? I'm like, what? First of all, they're not big people anyway,
I mean,
Scots are not big people.
But so drinking is a big play.
Oh, it's a sport.
Yeah.
Over in Scotland. I love Scotland, Ireland, England, all of them. Wales. What a great area that is. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. You ever been to Stonehenge?
No.
I tried to tip over one of the stones, but I couldn't do it.
Oh, good.
It's too heavy.
We don't need you on the news.
No, you can't even touch it, as a matter of fact.
I wouldn't think so.
You cannot touch Stonehenge.
Yeah, otherwise we'd have like carvings of like, Jamie loves Alice.
That's true. That would not be a good idea.
Yeah.
No question about that. So, you guys got through that segment, did you?
Mm-hmm.
No, we actually just sat here in silence hoping you'd come back.
Brittany gave us the rundown of all the reality show gossip. So,
oh, did you?
Listenership is up.
I did my work. I did my part today.
What are you doing?
I was fanning myself off because I was so exhausted from going on and on about reality. No, we talked about a man who was so emboldened by a hockey win that he hit a horse on the butt. A police horse. Yeah. So we covered that story for you.
For me?
You're welcome.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. No question. Jesus, what the hell is this story you sending me? This woman is either very into classical music or there's another explanation. The LA Philharmonic performed on Friday, and someone posted audio after a woman in the crowd supposedly had a sexual reaction to the show. She climaxed so loudly that the people in the audience could hear it.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah, it's a rough one.
Oh.
We
Is it that deal?
Yes. We had the audio yesterday. It's something. It's not nothing is all I'm going to say about that. It was, we all agree that we should hit up that show immediately.
Yeah, I guess
we
so.
can play it one more time.
Oh, you have
if you
it
guys
still
want.
good?
Yeah. Let's see. I just had it here a minute ago. I didn't know we were going to, but hang on.
I'll read a couple of lines. That's
sure.
fine.
Yeah.
It happened just as the music got soft, so everyone in the audience could hear it. One person who was there described it as a wonderfully timed incident. They were performing Tchaikovsky's Fifth Symphony, one of the best pieces of music ever written. But is it really that good? Maybe not. Somebody else who was there told the LA Times that the woman's boyfriend may have been responsible. What?
Well, I'm just glad it wasn't that somebody was doing some work out
He
there.
had his hand in her pocket? Is that what you're saying?
He's got one hand in her pocket.
All right, here you go.
Are you pulling my tit? That's fake as hell.
I don't understand the need to be loud during sexual intercourse. We stayed in St. Louis one night next to the Arch, and there was somebody in the hotel who was so loud at like 2 a.m. I thought, you're only doing this for show.
You're doing this for the other person or other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get it.
No, I would agree. Oh, by the way, she was up in the balcony, too. You should point that out. The theater was dark. They were in the balcony, and he was sitting right next to her. When the person looked over, she was breathing heavily, and the guy had a smile on his face.
That's a scream. Like, that is not like that's a scream.
I don't really understand why you would want to do that as a symphony.
I don't know.
Yeah, sexual encounters are nice because you're sharing moments, and it's. I don't know if I wouldn't care for that. It's like whacking off in a theater.
Yeah. Well, an ex-girlfriend of mine, I went to go buy a suit at JCPenney, and my girlfriend's like, let's get it on in the dressing room.
I would die.
I was like, no.
If Justin's, I would punch him in the face.
Yeah.
I remember one time we were driving, and I was like getting handsy, and Justin's like, no. And I was like, okay, cool. I didn't know if we were dating. I was like, I didn't know if I should be trying to be that. He's like, no, that's never going to be. And I'm like, okay, cool. We're cool. If my husband, we were at a concert, reached over in my lap, I would literally be like, I'm not sitting next to you.
No.
Done.
Catherine would never put up with that. No way. We should take a break here.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
We'll be right back in a couple minutes.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show.
We are back, 9:52 now. It's 8 minutes till 10 o'clock. KQ I tell you something. You can always count on friends, listeners, whatever the situation is, because Michael Bryant found the exact passage that the psychic was referring to. He found the exact one. Man, he must have been at work. He's been busy watching Corner Gas, all 100 episodes in a 4-day period.
I'm convinced Michael Bryant is a set of triplets.
He is,
and
yes.
we are just being fooled.
So this will go quickly, and then Brittany will have to leave. There's no question about it. So this is what my father had rubbed out by reading it so many times, running his finger across it. Isaiah 49:17-26. What's the NCV Bible? What's that?
Yeah, there's a version of it that's a little bit more user-friendly, if you will.
Oh, that's what this is?
Yeah, I believe so, yep.
Okay, that makes sense. Your children will soon return to you, and the people... 22, this is what the Lord God says. See, I will lift my hand to signal the nations. I will raise my banner for all the people to see. Then they will bring your sons back to you in their arms, and they will carry your daughters on their shoulders. So there you go. You didn't tear up. I'm proud of you. I thought for sure you'd tear up.
I feel so many feelings. I'm also like, even though I feel sad, because I feel sad about thinking about what your dad was, and and I have empathy for your dad, which is but I also, it kind of makes my heart happy because, you know, we've always talked about your dad as this monster.
Well, yeah, leaning that way. Well, he was severely mentally ill, so that didn't help.
No, and like, it kind of, it's kind of nice to think about him as a human and
yeah,
his
that's
struggles.
exactly right, too.
And so even though I literally just got done feeling emotional, part of me, my heart was a little happy for you to have that.
I agree.
Not many people will have something like that, and I don't know.
It's all true, ladies and gentlemen. Should we lighten the moment?
Yeah, and Adam emailed us and said, because I guess I mentioned I was tired, and he said, "You can't be tired, Britt. Glue never gives up."
Glue never gives up. I love that. That's a great take. Don't you think?
Yeah, lighten the mood. Give me something light. I'm feeling heavy.
We got 5 minutes left. Calm down. What's wrong with that? 5 minutes. You're good, aren't you?
I'll do it, I guess.
I guess I can slog through it. Is that what you're saying?
I am the glue.
Oh, my God. Somebody sent a picture of this, and I don't know who sent it in. But there's a picture of a graveyard. And somebody there's a cross for his headstone or her headstone. It's the cross, not just a headstone. And across where the arms would go, it says, "Racism is a sin." You're going to be giving that message out for the rest of time.
I mean, holds true.
Yeah. Remember when they used to just put on tombstones like, "Here lies Greg. He was a good dad and a fine brother." That was it. It wasn't.
Or even like Greg, 1900 to 1950.
Yeah, no virtue signaling in the afterlife.
None of that.
I'm gonna have on my tombstone, "All are welcome here."
All are welcome.
And by that I mean the grave.
Yeah, the glue. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
This is an interesting story. There's a bill that might allow 14-year-olds to serve liquor. Why would you need 14-year-olds to serve liquor?
Are we that hard up for industry people?
Wouldn't think so. It says Bill. Oh, what a shock! You know where what's
Wisconsin.
You got it. You nailed it. It's Wisconsin. Boy, do you remember? Well, maybe you guys didn't do it, but when you lived up north, did you ever live right on the border of Wisconsin, Minnesota?
A couple of times. Brittany brought this up the other day, but yeah, going over the border to Superior to buy booze. Did a lot. Yeah.
Every Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Every Sunday.
When I lived in Woodbury, we'd run over to Hudson real quick.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hudson.
I loved going over there. What's the name of that great club? There was a great club over there.
In Superior or Hudson?
This would have been just north of Hudson.
Oh, okay.
God, it was a great. It just appeared in my head. Now it's gone again.
I don't know any clubs, but I do know many nameless bars in Superior.
Great bands over there. Oh yeah, that's right. You went to UMD, didn't you?
Yeah.
So you were boozing it up over there all the time.
Yes.
Typical.
That was the tail end of my drinking career, and I went hard.
Bill would allow 14-year-olds to serve alcohol in Wisconsin. 14-year-olds in Wisconsin could serve alcohol to seated customers in bars and restaurants under a bill circulated for co-sponsors by a pair of Republican state lawmakers. Why do they need 14-year-olds to serve booze?
How you have to be 18 to serve alcohol?
I think that's right.
I believe so.
Why don't we just bump it down to 16 at first and see if that affects anything?
Is there a surfeit of these kinds of things going on? I mean, are there not enough people to do it? Is that why they would? It says 14-year-olds in Wisconsin could serve alcohol to seated customers in bars and restaurants under a bill circulated for co-sponsors Monday by a pair of Republican lawmakers. Under current law, only workers age 18 and above can serve alcohol to customers in Wisconsin. The bill would broaden that to workers age 14 to 17. They can only serve to seated customers, not drinkers who are at the bar itself. The current age limit on serving alcohol causes workforce issues due to an establishment's underage employees only being able to do part of their job. Well, why would you hire a 14-year-old at a bar anyway?
Yeah, I don't know. Like they in Wisconsin, regardless of age, you can drink at a bar as long as your parents are there with you.
Oh, that's right.
Regardless of age?
Regardless of age, yeah. Mm-hmm. Also, who doesn't want a 7th grader that can make a mean Manhattan? You know.
Yeah, it's true.
If they're doing it at home, they might as well go make a profit somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't see that big of a problem with this. I would love them to study if this causes issues in underage drinking or like, you know, maybe a lifestyle. Like, I would love them to see that. But otherwise, I don't know. If kids want to work, like, they can move bottles around and, like, you know, be around with things like that. But if the act of serving it changes anything, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could have started serving booze when I was 11 then, because I started working when I was 11.
I worked at Dairy Queen when I was 14 and got a blizzard thrown at me.
Why would someone throw it? Because you had the wrong ingredients in it?
Yes, exactly why. I was a lady who came in at like 10:30 in the morning, and she was wearing a muumuu.
Is having a blizzard at 10:30 in the morning?
Life choices were made here.
I suppose.
And I gave her an Oreo, and she wanted cookie dough. Those were like our two most popular. And I screwed them up in my head, and I was the only one up front. She threw it at me because she's like, I ordered cookie dough, and she threw it at me, and I just stood there, walked to the back as a 14-year-old would, bawled, and I guess my manager came back later and was like, so Brittany, like, I understand you're upset, but there was a lady just raging up there by herself, like, you might want to give us a heads up. And I was like, couldn't.
That'd be good.
Couldn't. I was done. I was done that day. Like,
what an a-hole to throw it. How old were you?
14.
14, and she's throwing things at you.
And I wasn't like 14 who looked 16. I was 14 and looked 12. Like, that's where I was. Whatever.
All right. I have to go downstairs and throw some stuff at the people in the diner.
Coming for your heads.
You know, their food down there is really good.
Super good.
I ate there the other day with Dan Seaman. He and I ate. I had never eaten there before because I was always on the air till later, and it used to close early, and now it doesn't.
Debo's?
Is
the restaurant? No. People are writing in quickly. Debo's are getting a bunch of. Is that the club that's north of Hudson?
Oh,
Debo's.
yeah, okay.
Debo's, Dibbos.
Yeah, I think that's right.
All right.
I think that's right.
We're getting more to the song. I've never heard this part.
Dibbo's, though. It was Dibbo's, not Debo's.
Sorry, Dibbo's.
You're a disaster.
Who would have a club Dibbo? I gotta go. I'm not getting paid for this.
Forget it. You're fired.
Goodbye.
You're out of the mix. All right, talk to you tomorrow.